Gunners boss Mikel Arteta has told his players and the club's fans to, in his words, stay present and live the moment as the Gunners prepare for a huge 2 weeks which could see them secure the Premier League and Champions League double. As well as being top of the domestic table, Arsenal also into the Champions League final, where they'll face Paris Saint-Germain in Budapest on May the 30th. It will be easy to get carried away, but Arteta is calling for calm and has told everyone associated with his club to stay present. The tennis, Novak Djokovic was beaten by gutsy qualifier Dino Prismic on his return to action in the Italian Open second round. World number 4 Djokovic was playing his first match since March the 12th and more crucially his first of the year on clay after missing several tournaments with a shoulder injury. A 6-time champion in Rome, Djokovic started strongly but was laboured and looked to be struggling with illness in the second set. However, there was nothing to take away from Croatia's Prismic, who played bravely to overpower the Serb at 2-6, 6-2, 6-4. It is his second top 10 win in quick succession after Prismic beat world number 6 Ben Shelton at the Madrid Open last month. Finally, 2 goals for Rory McIlroy. He's up on the back 9 on Friday at Quail Hollow to move into contention at the Truist Championship. His 467 seen him pull within 4 shots of leader Sung Jae Im. Playing his first tournament since winning the Masters for a second year running, and McIlroy was 1 under and 8 shots back when he made the turn before back-to-back birdies at the 10th and 11th got him rolling. He added further birdies at the 13th, 15th and 16th, though he'd end his round with a bogey as his par putt on the 18th lipped out after he found himself in a green side bunker. He isn't the only big name in contention, as Tommy Fleetwood shot 67 for the second straight day, the trail leader in by 1 shot. Justin Thomas, who won the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in 2017, is 2 back, along with PGA Tour newcomer Alex Fitzpatrick, who continues his bright start since earning his tour card after his victory alongside brother Matt at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Hull City and Millwall play out in goalless draw in the physical first leg of their Championship playoff semi-final at the MK Stadium last night. The home side nearly scored inside the first 2 minutes when forward Mo Balumi cut in from the left and hit a shot at a tight angle that hit the outside of the near post. Camille Negley's long-range effort skinned the post on its way wide as the Lions pushed for an opener, and Ollie McBurney was not quite able to make a solid connection on Yu Hirakawa's cross down the other end as the game opened up in the final 20 minutes. However, the pair could not find a goal between them and will now meet at the Den in the second leg on Monday with the scores tied up. The Championship's second playoff semi-final gets underway this afternoon at 12:30 as Middlesbrough host at Southampton. There's also League One playoff action today as Stockport travel to Stevenage at 3 o'clock, while Bolton host Bradford City at 8. In the Premier League, Liverpool face Chelsea at 12:30. There are 3 3-o'clock games, which are Brighton against Wolves, Fulham against Bournemouth, and Sunderland against Manchester United, before at 5:30 Manchester City host at Brentford. A win in that match would see City move to within 2 points of leaders Arsenal at West Ham tomorrow, and Gunners boss Mikel Arteta has told his players and the club's fans to, in his words, stay present and live the moment as the Gunners prepare for a huge 2 weeks which could see them secure the Premier League and Champions League double. As well as being top of the domestic table, Arsenal also into the Champions League final, where they'll face Paris Saint-Germain in Budapest on May the 30th. It will be easy to get carried away, but Arteta is calling for calm and has told everyone associated with his club to stay present. The tennis, Novak Djokovic was beaten by gutsy qualifier Dino Prismic on his return to action in the Italian Open second round. World number 4 Djokovic was playing his first match since March the 12th and more crucially his first of the year on clay after missing several tournaments with a shoulder injury. A 6-time champion in Rome, Djokovic started strongly but was laboured and looked to be struggling with illness in the second set. However, there was nothing to take away from Croatia's Prismic, who played bravely to overpower the Serb at 2-6, 6-2, 6-4. It is his second top 10 win in quick succession after Prismic beat world number 6 Ben Shelton at the Madrid Open last month. Finally, 2 goals for Rory McIlroy. He's up on the back 9 on Friday at Quail Hollow to move into contention at the Truist Championship. His 467 seen him pull within 4 shots of leader Sung Jae Im. Playing his first tournament since winning the Masters for a second year running, and McIlroy was 1 under and 8 shots back when he made the turn before back-to-back birdies at the 10th and 11th got him rolling. He added further birdies at the 13th, 15th and 16th, though he'd end his round with a bogey as his par putt on the 18th lipped out after he found himself in a green side bunker. He isn't the only big name in contention, as Tommy Fleetwood shot 67 for the second straight day, the trail leader in by one shot. Justin Thomas, who won the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in 2017, is two back, along with PGA Tour newcomer Alex Fitzpatrick, who continues his bright start since earning his tour card after his victory alongside brother Matt at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Hull City and Millwall play out a goalless draw in the physical first leg of their Championship playoff semi-final at the MK Stadium last night. The home side nearly scored inside the first 2 minutes when forward Mo Balumi cut in from the left and hit a shot at a tight angle that hit the outside of the near post. Camille Negley's long-range effort skinned the post on its way wide as the Lions pushed for an opener, and Ollie McBurney was not quite able to make a solid connection on Yu Hirakawa's cross down the other end as the game opened up in the final 20 minutes. However, the pair could not find a goal between them and will now meet at the Den in the second leg on Monday, with the scores tied up. The Championship's second playoff semi-final gets underway this afternoon at 12:30 as Middlesbrough host at Southampton. There's also League One playoff action today as Stockport travel to Stevenage at 3 o'clock, while Bolton host Bradford City at 8. In the Premier League, Liverpool face Chelsea at 12:30. There are three 3 o'clock games, which are Brighton against Wolves, Fulham against Bournemouth, and Sunderland against Manchester United, before at 5:30 Manchester City host at Brentford. A win in that match would see City move to within 2 points of leaders Arsenal at West Ham tomorrow. And Gunners boss Mikel Arteta has told his players and the club's fans to, in his words, stay present and live the moment, as the Gunners prepare for a huge 2 weeks, which could see them secure the Premier League and Champions League double. As well as being top of the domestic table, Arsenal also into the Champions League final, where they'll face Paris Saint-Germain in Budapest on May the 30th. It will be easy to get carried away, but Arteta is calling for calm and has told everyone associated with his club to stay present. To tennis, Novak Djokovic was beaten by gutsy qualifier Dino Prismic on his return to action in the Italian Open second round. World number 4 Djokovic was playing his first match since March the 12th, and more crucially his first of the year on clay after missing several tournaments with a shoulder injury. A 6-time champion in Rome, Djokovic started strongly but was laboured and looked to be struggling with illness in the second set. However, there was nothing to take away from Croatia's Prismic, who played bravely to overpower the snub at 2-6, 6-2, 6-4. It is his second top 10 win in quick succession after Prismic beat world number 6 Ben Shelton at the Madrid Open last month. Finally, to golf for Rory McIlroy. He's up on the back nine on Friday at Quail Hollow to move into contention at the Tourist Championship. His 467 seen him pull within 4 shots of leader Sung Jae Im. Playing his first tournament since winning the Masters for a second year running, and McIlroy was 1 under and 8 shots back when he made the turn before back-to-back birdies at the 10th and 11th got him rolling. He added further birdies at the 13th, 15th and 16th, though he'd end his round with a bogey as his par putt on the 18th lipped out after he found himself in a green side bunker. He isn't the only big name in contention, as Tommy Fleetwood shot 67 for the second straight day, the trail leader in by one shot. Justin Thomas, who won the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in 2017, is two back, along with PGA Tour newcomer Alex Fitzpatrick, who continues his bright start since earning his tour card after his victory alongside brother Matt at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Hull City and Millwall play out a goalless draw in the physical first leg of their Championship playoff semi-final at the MK Stadium last night. The home side nearly scored inside the first 2 minutes when forward Mo Balumi cut in from the left and hit a shot at a tight angle that hit the outside of the near post. Camille Negley's long-range effort skinned the post on its way wide as the Lions pushed for an opener, and Ollie McBurney was not quite able to make a solid connection on Yu Hirakawa's cross down the other end as the game opened up in the final 20 minutes. However, the pair could not find a goal between them and will now meet at the Den in the second leg on Monday, with the scores tied up. The Championship's second playoff semi-final gets underway this afternoon at 12:30 as Middlesbrough host at Southampton. There's also League One playoff action today as Stockport travel to Stevenage at 3 o'clock, while Bolton host Bradford City at 8. In the Premier League, Liverpool face Chelsea at 12:30. There are three 3 o'clock games, which are Brighton against Wolves, Fulham against Bournemouth, and Sunderland against Manchester United, before at 5:30 Manchester City host at Brentford. A win in that match would see City move to within 2 points of lead as Arsenal are at West Ham tomorrow. And Gunners boss Mikel Arteta has told his players and the club's fans to, in his words, stay present and live the moment as the Gunners prepare for a huge 2 weeks which could see them secure the Premier League and Champions League double. As well as being top of the domestic table, Arsenal also into the Champions League final, where they'll face Paris Saint-Germain in Budapest on May the 30th. It will be easy to get carried away, but Arteta is calling for calm and has told everyone associated with his club to stay present. The tennis, Novak Djokovic was beaten by gutsy qualifier Dino Prismic on his return to action in the Italian Open second round. World number 4 Djokovic was playing his first match since March the 12th and more crucially his first of the year on clay after missing several tournaments with a shoulder injury. A 6-time champion in Rome, Djokovic started strongly but was laboured and looked to be struggling with illness in the second set. However, there was nothing to take away from Croatia's Prismic, who played bravely to overpower the Serb at 2-6, 6-2, 6-4. It is his second top 10 win in quick succession after Prismic beat world number 6 Ben Shelton at the Madrid Open last month. Finally, 2 goals for Rory McIlroy. He's sub on the back 9 on Friday at Quail Hollow to move into contention at the Truist Championship. His 4-67 senior pulled within 4 shots of leader Sung Jae Im. Playing his first tournament since winning the Masters for a second year running, and McIlroy was 1 under and 8 shots back when he made the turn before back-to-back birdies at the 10th and 11th got him rolling. He added further birdies at the 13th, 15th and 16th, though he'd end his round with a bogey as his par putt on the 18th lipped out after he found himself in a green side bunker. He isn't the only big name in contention, as Tommy Fleetwood shot 67 for the second straight day, the trail leader in by 1 shot. Justin Thomas, who won the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in 2017, is 2 back, along with PGA Tour newcomer Alex Fitzpatrick, who continues his bright start since earning his tour card after his victory alongside brother Matt at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Hull City and Millwall play out a goalless draw in the physical first leg of their championship playoff semi-final at the MK Stadium last night. The home side nearly scored inside the first 2 minutes when forward Mo Balumi cut in from the left and hit a shot at a tight angle that hit the outside of the near post. Camille Negley's long-range effort skinned the post on its way wide as the Lions pushed for an opener, and Ollie McBurney was not quite able to make a solid connection on Yu Hirakawa's cross down the other end as the game opened up in the final 20 minutes. However, the pair could not find a goal between them and will now meet at the Den in the second leg on Monday with the scores tied up. The Championship's second playoff semi-final gets underway this afternoon at 12:30 as Middlesbrough host at Southampton. There's also League One playoff action today as Stockport travel to Stevenage at 3 o'clock, while Bolton host Bradford City at 8. In the Premier League, Liverpool face Chelsea at 12:30. There are 3 o'clock games, which are Brighton against Wolves, Fulham against Bournemouth, and Sunderland against Manchester United. Before at 5:30, Manchester City host at Brentford. A win in that match would see City move to within 2 points of lead as Arsenal are at West Ham tomorrow. And Gunners boss Mikel Arteta has told his players and the club's fans to, in his words, stay present and live the moment as the Gunners prepare for a huge 2 weeks which could see them secure the Premier League and Champions League double. As well as being top of the domestic table, Arsenal also into the Champions League final, where they'll face Paris Saint-Germain in Budapest on May the 30th. It will be easy to get carried away, but Arteta is calling for calm and has told everyone associated with his club to stay present. The tennis, Novak Djokovic was beaten by gutsy qualifier Dino Prismic on his return to action in the Italian Open second round. World number 4 Djokovic was playing his first match since March the 12th and more crucially his first of the year on clay after missing several tournaments with a shoulder injury. A 6-time champion in Rome, Djokovic started strongly but was laboured and looked to be struggling with illness in the second set. However, there was nothing to take away from Croatia's Prismic, who played bravely to overpower the Serb at 2-6, 6-2, 6-4. It is his second top 10 win in quick succession after Prismic beat world number 6 Ben Shelton at the Madrid Open last month. Finally, 2 goals for Rory McIlroy. He's sub on the back 9 on Friday at Quail Hollow to move into contention at the Truist Championship. His 4-67 senior pulled within 4 shots of leader Sung Jae Im. Playing his first tournament since winning the Masters for a second year running, and McIlroy was 1 under and 8 shots back when he made the turn before back-to-back birdies at the 10th and 11th got him rolling. He added further birdies at the 13th, 15th and 16th, though he'd end his round with a bogey as his par putt on the 18th lipped out after he found himself in a green side bunker. He isn't the only big name in contention, as Tommy Fleetwood shot 67 for the second straight day, the trail leader in by one shot. Justin Thomas, who won the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in 2017, is two back, along with PGA Tour newcomer Alex Fitzpatrick, who continues his bright start since earning his tour card after his victory alongside brother Matt at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Hull City and Millwall play out a goalless draw in the physical first leg of their Championship playoff semi-final at the MK Stadium last night. The home side nearly scored inside the first 2 minutes when forward Mo Balumi cut in from the left and hit a shot at a tight angle that hit the outside of the near post. Camille Negley's long-range effort skinned the post on its way wide as the Lions pushed for an opener, and Ollie McBurney was not quite able to make a solid connection on Yu Hirakawa's cross down the other end as the game opened up in the final 20 minutes. However, the pair could not find a goal between them and will now meet at the Den in the second leg on Monday, with the scores tied up. The Championship's second playoff semi-final gets underway this afternoon at 12:30 as Middlesbrough host at Southampton. There's also League One playoff action today as Stockport travel to Stevenage at 3 o'clock, while Bolton host Bradford City at 8. In the Premier League, Liverpool face Chelsea at 12:30. There are three 3 o'clock games, which are Brighton against Wolves, Fulham against Bournemouth, and Sunderland against Manchester United, before at 5:30 Manchester City host at Brentford. A win in that match would see City move to within 2 points of leaders Arsenal at West Ham tomorrow, and Gunners boss Mikel Arteta has told his players and the club's fans to, in his words, stay present and live the moment, as the Gunners prepare for a huge 2 weeks which could see them secure the Premier League and Champions League double. As well as being top of the domestic table, Arsenal also into the Champions League final, where they'll face Paris Saint-Germain in Budapest on May the 30th. It will be easy to get carried away, but Arteta is calling for calm and has told everyone associated with his club to stay present. The tennis, Novak Djokovic was beaten by gutsy qualifier Dino Prismic on his return to action in the Italian Open second round. World number 4 Djokovic was playing his first match since March the 12th, and more crucially his first of the year on clay after missing several tournaments with a shoulder injury. A 6-time champion in Rome, Djokovic started strongly but was laboured and looked to be struggling with illness in the second set. However, there was nothing to take away from Croatia's Prismic, who played bravely to overpower the Serb at 2-6, 6-2, 6-4. It is his second top 10 win in quick succession after Prismic beat world number 6 Ben Shelton at the Madrid Open last month. Finally, to golf for Rory McIlroy. He's up on the back 9 on Friday at Quail Hollow to move into contention at the Truist Championship. His 467 seen him pull within 4 shots of leader Sungjae Im. Playing his first tournament since winning the Masters for a second year running, and McIlroy was 1 under and 8 shots back when he made the turn before back-to-back birdies at the 10th and 11th got him rolling. He added further birdies at the 13th, 15th and 16th, though he'd end his round with a bogey as his par putt on the 18th lipped out after he found himself in a green side bunker. He isn't the only big name in contention, as Tommy Fleetwood shot 67 for the second straight day, the trail leader in by one shot. Justin Thomas, who won the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in 2017, is two back, along with PGA Tour newcomer Alex Fitzpatrick, who continues his bright start since earning his tour card after his victory alongside brother Matt at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Hull City and Millwall play out a goalless draw in the physical first leg of their Championship playoff semi-final at the MK Stadium last night. The home side nearly scored inside the first 2 minutes when forward Mo Balumi cut in from the left and hit a shot at a tight angle that hit the outside of the near post. Camille Negley's long-range effort skinned the post on its way wide as the Lions pushed for an opener, and Ollie McBurney was not quite able to make a solid connection on Yu Hirakawa's cross down the other end as the game opened up in the final 20 minutes. However, the pair could not find a goal between them and will now meet at the Den in the second leg on Monday, with the scores tied up. The Championship's second playoff semi-final gets underway this afternoon at 12:30 as Middlesbrough host at Southampton. There's also League One playoff action today as Stockport travel to Stevenage at 3 o'clock, while Bolton host Bradford City at 8. In the Premier League, Liverpool face Chelsea at 12:30. There are three 3 o'clock games, which are Brighton against Wolves, Fulham against Bournemouth, and Sunderland against Manchester United. Before at 5:30, Manchester City host at Brentford. A win in that match would see City move to within 2 points of leaders Arsenal are at West Ham tomorrow. And Gunners boss Mikel Arteta has told his players and the club's fans to, in his words, stay present and live the moment, as the Gunners prepare for a huge 2 weeks, which could see them secure the Premier League and Champions League double. As well as being top of the domestic table, Arsenal also into the Champions League final, where they'll face Paris Saint-Germain in Budapest on May the 30th. It will be easy to get carried away, but Arteta is calling for calm and has told everyone associated with his club to stay present. The tennis, Novak Djokovic was beaten by gutsy qualifier Dino Prismic on his return to action in the Italian Open second round. World number 4 Djokovic was playing his first match since March the 12th, and more crucially his first of the year on clay after missing several tournaments with a shoulder injury. A 6-time champion in Rome, Djokovic started strongly but was laboured and looked to be struggling with illness in the second set. However, there was nothing to take away from Croatia's Prismic, who played bravely to overpower the Serb 2-6, 6-2, 6-4. It is his second top 10 win in quick succession after Prismic beat world number 6 Ben Shelton at the Madrid Open last month. Finally, to golf for Rory McIlroy. He's up on the back 9 on Friday at Quail Hollow to move into contention at the Tourist Championship. His 467 seen him pull within 4 shots of leader Sung Jae Im. Playing his first tournament since winning the Masters for a second year running, and McIlroy was 1 under and 8 shots back when he made the turn before back-to-back birdies at the 10th and 11th got him rolling. He added further birdies at the 13th, 15th and 16th, though he'd end his round with a bogey as his par putt on the 18th lipped out after he found himself in a green side bunker. He isn't the only big name in contention, as Tommy Fleetwood shot 67 for the second straight day, the trail leader in by 1 shot. Justin Thomas, who won the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in 2017, is 2 back, along with PGA Tour newcomer Alex Fitzpatrick, who continues his bright start since earning his tour card after his victory alongside brother Matt at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. That's all for now, we'll have more later. These are your latest sports headlines. I'm Jack Ogleby. We start with football, and Hull City and Millwall play out a goalless draw in the physical first leg of their Championship playoff semi-final at the MK Stadium last night. The home side nearly scored inside the first 2 minutes when forward Mo Balumi cut in from the left and hit a shot at a tight angle that hit the outside of the near post. Camille Negley's long-range effort skinned the post on its way wide as the Lions pushed for an opener, and Ollie McBurney was not quite able to make a solid connection on Yu Hirakawa's cross down the other end as the game opened up in the final 20 minutes. However, the pair could not find a goal between them and will now meet at the Den in the second leg on Monday, with the scores tied up. The Championship's second playoff semi-final gets underway this afternoon at 12:30 as Middlesbrough host at Southampton. There's also League One playoff action today as Stockport travel to Stevenage at 3 o'clock, while Bolton host Bradford City at 8. In the Premier League, Liverpool face Chelsea at 12:30. There are three 3 o'clock games, which are Brighton against Wolves, Fulham against Bournemouth, and Sunderland against Manchester United. Before at 5:30, Manchester City host at Brentford. A win in that match would see City move to within 2 points of leaders Arsenal are at West Ham tomorrow. And Gunners boss Mikel Arteta has told his players and the club's fans to, in his words, stay present and live the moment, as the Gunners prepare for a huge 2 weeks, which could see them secure the Premier League and Champions League double. As well as being top of the domestic table, Arsenal also into the Champions League final, where they'll face Paris Saint-Germain in Budapest on May the 30th. It will be easy to get carried away.
With Palmer and Fernandez supporting João Pedro through the middle. Liverpool host Chelsea at Anfield in the 12:30 kick-off this afternoon in the Premier League. The Reds come into this one off the back of a disappointing defeat to Manchester United last time out, with that result almost certainly ruling out finishing above the Red Devils. 3 points today seems imperative in order to finish above Aston Villa, who have got themselves through to the Europa League final this week. Chelsea come into this one having lost their last 6 in the league and have slid down to 9th in the table. Despite this terrible form, however, they're looking to complete the double over Liverpool for the first time since 2013-14. Arne Slot makes 3 changes from the Old Trafford defeat last weekend. Mohamed Ashvili returns from injury between the sticks ahead of Freddie Woodman. Milos Kerkez replaces Andy Robertson at left back, and Rio Ngamoa gets the nod over the ill Florian Wirtz. And it's a very warm welcome to this independent off-tube studio-based commentary of this Premier League fixture at Anfield between Liverpool and Chelsea. The away side have just got us underway on Merseyside as Liverpool very promptly win the ball back early on. It's myself, Luke Ashurst, alongside me Nathan Wastel, to bring you all the action of the 90 minutes. And well, Nathan, I think we're expecting quite a lot because Liverpool have looked better in recent weeks. That was until the performance at Old Trafford, where they were pretty poor for the majority of it. Chelsea, on the other hand, have looked dreadful for the last few months now and have very much slipped away, you'd argue, from at least Champions League contention. But plenty riding on this game for both sides, and ultimately I'd argue the two starting lineups would highlight that.
Oh, absolutely. That's absolutely right. Latter stage of a season as well. There's injuries, there's fatigue. That's for sure. Seeing what we've seen on paper with these teams, you're absolutely right in saying so. Liverpool, yeah, that's a bit of a gut punch last week at Old Trafford, wasn't it? It was a really poor result to take. Chelsea themselves have been way off the pace. Had a solid season in the running, but coming to the vital start of the season, they've really struggled and they've gone to a torrid position, getting absolutely thumped by Forest last week as well. Horrible for them. Two teams that are, well, Liverpool can grasp Champions League today, I do believe, mathematically, with all 3 points. Chelsea themselves in the contention. There's a lot of teams in contention for Europe this season in there, of course, but they're flirting with it as well. So two teams that should be going for goals, should be going for the points as well, so should be a good game.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll run you through the lineups in full in a moment or so. 3 changes made by Arne Slot after the defeat to Manchester United. Mamardashvili returns in between the sticks ahead of Freddie Woodman against the side he made his Premier League debut against. There's a return to left back for Milos Kerkez ahead of Andy Robertson. And also as well, Rio Engamoa gets the nod, the former Chelsea man. The teenager ahead of Florian Wirtz, who is reportedly out with a stomach bug. Alexander Isak does return to the bench this afternoon. I'll break off because Van Dijk's giving the ball away, trying to play into midfield. Here's Cole Palmer looking to try and move forward, straight towards goal. Comfortable save in the end by Mamardashvili. As for Chelsea and Callum McFarlane, 5 changes from the defeat against Nottingham Forest last time out. Robert Sanchez out injured, replaced by Philip Jorgensen. The shift to a back 3 is Colwill, Fofana and Hato all return to the side. It's Tosin and Chalobah that drop out, along with Romeo Lavia. Andre Santos is in for him. There's also obviously an absence for young Jamie Derry, who picked up an injury in that one. He's that's all the changes. He misses out as well. Liverpool in their usual home strip of all red with a white trim. Chelsea in their usual home strip as well of all blue with a white trim. As you'd expect, it's the typical blue versus red in this one. And you'd have to say it's been a relatively slow opening 3 minutes. Liverpool seemingly lacking a fair bit of energy. Although being asked to turn it up now as Chelsea try and come forward. Gravenberch back well though to play the ball back to Curtis Jones. He continues at right back. Has played at right back in every game since that Derby Day victory, I should say, against Everton. I'll break off because Kerkez has found space in the middle, and Kerkez will drive forward. He's away from a couple. Was he brought down there by Caicedo? He was, and that should be the first yellow card of the afternoon. Brilliant from Milos Kerkez. Lovely ball to find him, and the Hungarian just thought, you know what, I've got a bit of space to run into here. I'm not going to stop.
Yeah, and you know what, I think he'll very much welcome that nudge from Caicedo because he didn't get any runners in front of him. He got no help. Everyone went out to the far side, and he had to take it on himself. He took a bit of a touch to the right, and that certainly is a yellow card. But I think for Craig Pawson, the man in the middle, he's looked at the clock and thought 4 minutes in, I'm not going to be brandishing that yellow card, which I believe is wrong.
Yep.
I think if it's a yellow card, it's a yellow card. But at the time of the game, I think that's what's led him off. But the interesting thing here, it's 35-40 yards, very central. But if there's one man you want over this, it's the Hungarian.
It certainly is. Dominic Szoboszlai stood over this. The cameras pan to Levi Colwill a couple of times. He organised the wall. Big game for him this afternoon as he starts for the first time this season. He's in the wall along with Jarell Hato and Andre Santos. As Nathan mentioned, this is a good 35-40 yards out for Dominic Szoboszlai. I can tell you now, the way he is talking about the wall to Craig Pawson, he is hitting this. He's pointing out to the referee that they're stood in front of the line, the 3 in blue. There is a gap over the wall to Philip Jorgensen's left-hand side, which looks a little bit bigger when the camera is pointing straight at the goal than it does from the side. Szoboszlai will strike towards goal. I tell you what, that free kick should be retaken. The Chelsea wall stood forward there as it was struck. Either way, play continues as the free kick struck the wall. Here's Ngamoa, born to Gravenberch. Oh, what a goal! Ryan Gravenberch inside 5 minutes with an absolute screamer to give Liverpool the lead. An unbelievable finish from the Dutchman outside of the penalty area, inside of the right boot, right into the top corner. Liverpool have an early lead, and it's through an absolute belter from Ryan Gravenberch.
It's peach, absolute peach. Talked about that free kick getting retaken. I don't think they'll care a jot now. It's a lovely goal. Rio Ngamoa, his breakout season, keeping it alive, keeping energetic on that left-hand side. Just a little pocket for Gravenberch, about a yard outside the area, left-hand side. Gusto didn't see him, and then he moves it to his right, just on the left-hand side of the D, and wraps it with his right into the top right-hand corner. It's not right in the corner, but it's enough. Jurgensen may have even got a hand on it, the substitute keeper. Looking back at the replay, Luke, it is fairly central. It's not bang in the middle of goal, of course, but it's not right in the corner. Jurgensen's a little to his right, probably poor starting positioning, but take nothing away from the finish. What a brilliant start. Slightly slow out the gates for Liverpool. We talked about that before the game, didn't we? How they start slower this season. Well, 5 minutes into this game, there was no signs of life early on, but out of nowhere, Liverpool lead.
Fantastic strike from Ryan Gravenberch. Enzo Fernandez not happy with his side. It was Cole Palmer defending Rio Ngamoa on the Chelsea right, Liverpool left. And ultimately it was too easy for the former Chelsea man to cut in on his right boot, feed Ryan Gravenberch. And he saw the space open up and thought, you know what, I'm going to have a go here. Questions to Philip Jorgensen, as Nathan has just said, positioning seemed a little bit off. Certainly seemed slow to get off the ground. He never really got to it. It's the height, I think, is beating him more than anything from Ryan Gravenberch. But ultimately, as Nathan has just said, Liverpool will not care one bit because they have an early lead, and it's through an absolute belter from Ryan Gravenberch. And that seems to have put a little bit of a spring in the step of those in red, as McAllister's given a free kick away on halfway. Gives me a chance to run you through the lineups in full. It's Mamardashvili in goal for Liverpool. A back four of Kerkez, Van Dijk, Konate and Jones. Midfield two of McAllister and now the goal scorer Ryan Gravenberch, with Ngamoa, Szoboszlai and Frimpong supporting Cody Gakpo up top. As for Chelsea, it's Jorgensen in goal. What I thought was a back three, but now seems to have shuffled over to a back four of Gusto, Fofana, Colwill and Hato. A midfield two of Santos and Caicedo, with Palmer, Fernandez and Cucurella supporting João Pedro up top. I'm still not convinced. I still can't work out whether it's a back three or a back four, Nathan, I'll be honest, which I think is probably more of a negative from a Chelsea point of view, because if we can't work out what shape they're in, I'm not sure how they can. As that's a good ball in, Gusto back across and headed away by Konate, further cleared by Gravenberch. Brilliant play from Chelsea. Great ball down the left hand side to feed Cucurella, whose ball towards the back post was a good one. Gusto then trying to play it back across while Pedro crowded out.
Yeah, it was a teaser, real teaser across. I think Konate and Van Dijk just crossed over each other. I don't think it was a lack of communication, maybe just two players just trying to throw themselves at the ball. They got it done in the end, but there's a very early warning after scoring the goal that they're still vulnerable at the back and Chelsea can cause a threat. Facing their 7th consecutive league defeat, Chelsea, that was some sort of record. They haven't tasted a victory since 4th of March in the league, since away at Aston Villa when they won 4-1. So they've been on an absolute torrid run, so they'll be very hungry to try and change that, but they have got off to the worst possible start.
They've been the first to concede in 8 of the last 10 games, Chelsea, which has been a problem because you give yourselves a mountain to climb when your confidence is low and you concede early. It's exactly what's happened today, although they've responded pretty well, it has to be said, the side in blue. Liverpool, though, not making it too difficult for them, easily giving the ball back there through Alexis McAllister. It's now on the left hand side though with João Pedro, who's held up well by Ibrahima Konate. Back now to Moises Caicedo. You talk about the length of time it's been since they won in the league. It's really weird with Chelsea. They've had a really, I'd argue, quite a comfortable run to the FA Cup final, right? And they've picked up some key victories, as that's a attempted ball over the top for Cucurella's overhit, and it catches the slope down that end of Anfield towards the Kop end and just skips out of play for a goal kick. You talk about the sort of easy run that Chelsea had going through the FA Cup. Normally, you see teams win games comfortably against Port Vale, or beat Wrexham, or get through to an FA Cup final, and it gives them a bit of confidence. But actually, it almost seems to have done the opposite with Chelsea. It's almost been like, you know, they've beaten Port Vale 7-0, and then they've not responded at all. I'll break off. Chelsea giving the ball away really high on the field here. Here's Frimpong, ball to the box, deflected, out of play for a corner. Hato and Jorgensen flailing arms around, almost trying to say something, but ultimately, from a Liverpool cold kick, Chelsea got the ball back and immediately gave the ball to Frimpong inside the attacking third. Yeah,
they're all over the place, Chelsea at the back, so disorganised, disjointed, they don't look like a team in unit. I watched them start the season. We've covered them a few times, and at the beginning of the season they did look good. There was question marks over how many signings they made, can they gel, a lot of names getting thrown in there, and they did seemingly, but this afternoon they just look, in the 10.5 we've seen, just way off the pace at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. I just said tonight about, I don't know whether it's a back three or a back four. That is a problem. You should be able to tell what system a side is playing at the back. Corner taken short though by Liverpool. Eventually it's fed to Szoboszlai towards the halfway. Ball to back post. Van Dijk, free efforts. I think he may have been offside. The flag actually stays down, and that's a huge opportunity. Van Dijk with 10 yards of free space inside the penalty area, the back post on the half volley, should do an awful lot better. He is onside. He's being played on by Enzo Fernandez, and he absolutely should score.
And he has to play at the whistle. Enzo Fernandez, he gives up. I mean, Van Dijk, he could have taken a touch, could have taken 3 before he put it into the bottom corner. He put a side foot through it. Maybe in the back of his head he's thinking I'm offside, or maybe he dragged Enzo to his right. Maybe just strength more than anything. Enzo just stopped. He was like, they'll blow a whistle for a foul, so we'll just carry on. You can't do that, especially at this day and age. You know, you've got to play to the whistle. You're the captain as well. He's just given Van Dijk a free rein. We're still not quite sure. We don't have the audio of the broadcast, but the fact that they're showing us just the standstill of the offside alone, where he is onside, I should say, tells me that would have stood.
Yeah, I think it would have done. That's a huge moment in this game for Liverpool and for Virgil van Dijk. Just a reminder, by the way, that there was another game that kicked off at 12:30 along with ours. It's the Championship playoff semi-final first leg between Middlesbrough and Southampton being played at the Riverside. It's currently 0-0 between those two. As things stand, I'll try and keep you updated as best as I can in that one. But Liverpool charging forward now with Engamoa down the left-hand side. Kirkers makes an overlapping run. Engamoa away from Gusto. Chip ball towards the back post. Gakpo, Frimpong there, headed away. Only his father is McAllister, edge of the box. Feeds Jones, corner of the penalty area. Right foot to ball, and it's a good one. Gusto can't get a touch on it, and that should just squirm out of play for a throw on the near side. It does. Engamoa can't keep it in. But while Liverpool looks a little bit sort of nervous in possession there, the space opens up so quickly from just a couple of passes.
Yeah, I'm nervous for Chelsea, to be honest. Every time Liverpool come forward, they're posing a real threat, and they look like they can just get in at any point. To say they're playing 3 at the back, stroke 5, I don't even know what they are playing. What they are playing is they're not marking their men, and there's too much space in the box for Liverpool, and you just feel like they're one pass away from someone just being in on goal.
Yeah, the midfield's wide open, the back, the final third is wide open. The only positive you'd give Chelsea at the minute is A, it's only 1-0, and B, they have looked like they are capable of winning the ball back high up off of Liverpool, who have looked at times a little bit porous in possession. They're once again moving the ball though down the left hand side with Kirkes and Engamoa. I have to say, I do not envy Malo Gusto this afternoon. I mean, Kirkes has had his moments this season where he struggled, but I think ultimately he's really grown into the campaign and has looked really fantastic when he's been on the pitch in the last couple of months. Always been very energetic, and then Rio Engamoa, there's nothing more that hasn't already been said about Rio Engamoa. So Gusto's got a really tricky task on this near side this afternoon, especially given that he's got Cole Palmer on his side, and he's hardly known for his defensive work, is he? The Chelsea number 10. He's got to get back now though, as Kirkes is one-on-one with the former Manchester City man. Here's Curtis Jones, who's tucked into midfield to offer a bit of support from right back. McAllister under pressure from Andre Santos, keeps hold of the ball and will go back to Van Dijk. Into McAllister once again, back to the Liverpool skipper. We'll play it across to Ibrahima Konate. Loads of space for him over on the right hand side. I think they are playing a back four here, Nathan. I think now it looks as though Kukre has shuffled into sort of a left midfield position, but he keeps tucking in narrow and it's allowing the space to open up. Ultimately, what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing a Chelsea side who, in Callum McFarlane, have been given an idea as to how they want to play, but it clearly has not been drilled into them.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think Cucurella is playing a man mark. He's trying to mark someone in the centre. That means him and Jarrell Hatto have to be on the same wavelength. Hatto's trying to play down that left flank and mark his men, but it just looks disconjointed and it does look disorganised. But Cucurella, when they're in possession, he looks like he's left wing. When they're out of possession, he looks left central defensive midfielder. It's a very interesting system. We'll have to see how it does grow in the game, but at the minute, yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's a fascinating battle so far, which 15 minutes in, Liverpool have got the better of. Independent off-tube studio-based commentary. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 0. That early Ryan Gravenberch goal in front of the Anfield Road end, the difference between the two sides as things stand. If you haven't managed to find a video of it, it is an absolute peach early on in this game. As that's a decent ball forward to João Pedro, flattened by Virgil van Dijk on halfway, and a free kick given to the visitors, but away from danger from a Liverpool point of view. Is Callum McFarlane deep in conversation with one of his coaching staff on the halfway line. It'll be a real test of character for the interim coach. There's no expectations of him getting the job full time in the summer. Obviously, it's his second spell as interim manager this season, but he's got to try and do something to turn around what at the minute is very much a sinking ship. And I don't know what you think, Nathan, but the body language on the touchline would not fill me with confidence if I was a Chelsea player.
No, absolutely not. And there was a shot there of João Pedro, and his body language alone as well speaks volumes. When you've got players out there of them standards, João Pedro, Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, and they're not living up to expectation, that's a big concern. That's a real big worry. And they've got some real superstars out there, Chelsea, but lost the last 6 and now maybe even 7. That is very, very worrying sign for Chelsea. And they may just drift away from European football and say they won't get that this season. With the opportunity that you can have with how wide open this season is, that's a big concern.
Yeah, financially that would be an absolute disaster for Chelsea. We know that, yes, there is a lot of buying and selling that goes on, and a lot of sort of, I don't want to say player trading, but I guess that's what it feels like at times. Ultimately, the model is based on having European football. And if they don't, it will be very, very interesting to see how the books are balanced without any form of European competition, which at the minute they're not in the position to get. They're looking to try and play out the back now, though, with the ball at the feet of Philip Jorgensen. Plays it onto the near side now for Gusto. Gusto into midfield for Palmer. Was he fouled there by McAllister? He was. And that'll be a free kick the way of Chelsea once again. I'm not sure those in red agree with Craig Pawson, but there's been a few of those now where, you know, a midfielder has gone through the back of their man and Craig Pawson's felt obliged to blow for a free kick. But ultimately, well, it'll be frustrating for Liverpool. I'll break up because they've won the ball back again, really high up. This time Cucurella giving the ball away, and Frimpong gathering over on the far side, although they've gone back to Ibrahima Konate here at Liverpool. I think ultimately, as much as it'll frustrate Liverpool that these free kicks have been given against them, it'll suit them down to the ground if, you know, Palmer's being fouled 10 yards inside his own half, or João Pedro's having to drop into halfway to get the ball and he's been brought down. There's no danger there, is there? You know, you can't cause any problems with free kicks, you know, inside your own half. So I think actually it's working out okay. Liverpool showing a bit of energy in midfield and saying, actually, we're all right bringing you down from behind. You're not getting away from us.
Yeah, it's no real threat for Liverpool at the moment. Slightly concerned early doors, but it's very early out the blocks. You know, like you say, Liverpool did look a little bit nervy, the Reds, early in this game, but they've definitely settled into it. Being at home will help massively for them as well. They're in a real groove. 57% possession for Liverpool so far. They've just given the ball away through Milos Kerkez a bit cheaply, but every time Chelsea come forward, there's no real threat enough for me, and every pass they do seems to always go backwards. So I keep saying worrying the anxiety behind Chelsea, but they're not showing enough in the opening 18 and a half. But there is a long way to go, of course.
Yeah, there absolutely is a long way to go, and as we've already mentioned, they have the players on the field who can cause problems. Here's Levi Colwill for the visitors. Ball over onto the far side for Cucurella. Back into centre midfield for Enzo Fernandez. Thought about the lofted ball over the top for João Pedro. He said we'll move it back into the centre circle for Wesley Fofana. Here's Moises Caicedo. Takes the ball on the half turn. Skips away from Szoboszlai. Then tries to feed Palmer. Passes behind him. Well read by Ngamoa. Kerkez will then return the ball back to the youngster who holds off the challenge of Gusto. And from Palmer back to Kerkez. First time clearance. Doesn't quite make it to halfway. And it will just bounce out of play for a throw in on the near side. Good that from Chelsea putting the squeeze on the 17-year-old. It's one thing I think they can look to exploit. He really struggled coming on against Manchester United defensively, did Rio Ngamoa last weekend, and you feel he's very, very dangerous for the opposition when he has it in the attacking third. Break off, great ball through from Palmer to João Pedro, good goalkeeping. Georgi Marmadashvili, quick off his line to read the scenario. Liverpool's defence parted like the Red Sea there. They just didn't know who to pick up. Van Dijk didn't stay nor go, and in the end it opened up the space for João Pedro. Marmadashvili defends it brilliantly though.
Yeah, just a bit of a criticism on Cole Palmer there. He is much better than that. There's a late one in from Cucurella there on Curtis Jones, and that'll be a free kick. I think Cole Palmer has to do better. He does the outside of the foot stab. He just got away from him slightly, so he may not be able to dictate the power that he puts into the pass, but he overhits the pass for João Pedro, and I don't think he necessarily needed to. I don't think he was forced into that. He could have just cushioned that through, and it just allowed the keeper. But like you say, you give your flowers to the Georgian goalkeeper because he came out like a flash. The big frame of him as well, down early to get the ball brave. But I think, is that another foul? There's a Liverpool player in Kirkus. I think he's gone flying into the dugout. Been pushed down there. There's been 2 or 3 of them, I think, for Chelsea, and I don't think they're going to get away with many more from Craig Pawson.
Wesley Fofana's obviously flattened Milos Kerkez there on the near side, and Chelsea weren't happy that a free kick was given, but Craig Pawson had no choice, as Kerkez does just about get back to his feet on the near side. We'll see a replay of it now. He's nowhere near the ball. Wesley Fofana is not a good challenge, and he sends Kerkez flying into the Liverpool bench. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst there to cushion the blow a little bit. It's not a good tackle, and that's another couple now, where another foul where you think actually there's a Chelsea player who's quite fortunate they've not picked up a yellow card.
Is that the third? And there weren't exactly little clips. You know, these guys have gone in tough. Like I say, I think that'll be the last. I don't think Craig Pawson will take much more of that. As I mean, we're 21 minutes into it, but they do start to top up, and there's more cards in the second half. But good ball down the line for Frimpong, but the trusty feet of Levi Colwell from right to left to clear that one out for a throw in far side.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's missed an entire season through injury, and he's making his first start of the campaign for Chelsea, does he? He's actually defended pretty well so far. It's just a shame those around him have struggled. Here's Ibrahima Konate though for the home side. Ball into midfield for Dominic Szoboszlai. Cucurella will come over to try and deal with the Hungarian. That seems to be the man-masking task, shall we say, for Cucurella so far, although he's left him now to come across over onto the far side. Liverpool trying to exploit the vacated space. Jones, though, back inside for Virgil van Dijk on the edge of his own 18-yard box. Great ball forward to Gravenberg, who's away from his man in midfield, turns it on the corner brilliantly. McAllister now feeds Engamoa one-on-one with gusto, with space in behind. Engamoa onto his right boot, away from 1, away from 2, held up well by 3 in blue, but he's still got the ball. Engamoa, brilliant pass to find McAllister to Gakpo, one more, can they get it to Frimpong? They can't. Then the offside flag goes up. There was so much panic amongst the Chelsea back four as Engamoa had a run at them there. In the end, they just about deal with it, but the wide open space for Engamoa to pick the ball up into should be a massive worry for Callum McFarlane. In the end, they've just about got away with it, but I would argue that they've gotten away with it by hook or by crook rather than by system.
Yeah, absolutely, just flinging a leg at it. I think for Rio Engamoa, brilliant, absolutely fantastic on the ball. When he's running at people, he's dangerous, but I think just he's fallen victim slightly because he's younger. He just pulling the trigger on a pass or a shot. I think he's a bit hesitant on it. He needed to get out of his feet and get the pass away, and he didn't. And he sort of overplayed it slightly. They almost got through, and Chelsea, like you say, don't look convincing when they're having to deal with that. And I mean, when I say deal with it, Malo Gusto is not dealing with Engamoa at the minute.
No, he certainly isn't. It's been a difficult first half so far for the Frenchman, as the camera lingers on Enzo Fernandez, who has barely been involved in this first half so far. Similarly, Cole Palmer, as Van Dijk's going to look to step forward now. We are into the second quarter of this one though. It's been a fantastic first quarter of the game for Liverpool. For Chelsea, much to be desired. And take us through to half time, it's going to be Nathan.
Thanks, Luke. As Liverpool just have the ball on the edge of their own box with Van Dijk. Left side, he's going to drive to the near side, outside the football, down the line. Bit of a hopeful one. It's only found Gusto on halfway, and they can just keep hold of the ball. Back they go, Levi Colwell at the back. The only one that looks really assured on the ball. He's playing on the right-hand side of the defence this afternoon. What I do believe to be more of a left footer than a right, but he can use both, the number 6. He stood on the ball centrally in his own half at the minute, finds the Brazilian Andre Santos, and he moves it to the near side. That's a loose pass, but João Pedro won't get there as well. Hook clear, it looks like it'll go all the way out for a goal kick to Chelsea. He's been absolutely lashed from halfway, and it will be a goal kick in the end, but it's far too easy, Chelsea point of view. who have, before a ball was kicked today, conceded in their last 13 league games in a row. I mean, that's a record that goes all the way back to 1991, and now it's 14 league games now, and it only took, it was less than 5 minutes, was it? It was 4 minutes when Gravenberch hit the back of the net with that curling effort. Absolute brilliant one. Chelsea just leak goals at the minute, unfortunately, as Konate's just on the right-hand side of his own area. He's shepherding the ball against Cucurella. He may just try and get this all the way out, and he has done. Very strong from the Frenchman, who's done exceptionally well, and it will be a goal kick. Cucurella, with the efforts to get there, pulls down Konate. It just about had the love on the ball enough to roll across the byline. I was just worried there for Konate because it was rolling very slowly, but he just about got the job done. Cucurella there, just with a hand in the throat there slightly. He's known for the dark arts, a little bit of a dirty player, isn't he?
He's got to be careful there, Cucurella, but I don't think anything too untoward. Konate is clever. He knows the pitch at Anfield very, very well. He knows that the slope down at the end of the Kop end will see that ball out. I think for a lot of people that would have been quite nervy watching, but I think most Liverpool fans would have sat there knowing that, that is going to trickle away, because that slope, it just doesn't stop. The ball just does not sit at that end of Anfield, and Konate reads the situation well, knows he's stronger than Cucurella, knows that if that ball doesn't go out, the only way that Cucurella is getting to it is by fouling him. So ultimately well read by the Frenchman.
As Chelsea are back on the ball from Konate, not so well, slicing out of play on the far side. It's all the way to Gusto, the number 27, the Frenchman linking down the line. Here it comes down that line now as it moves from Santos. He has the overlap of Gusto down the near side. Not a lot of movement at the minute. It's a bit forced against 2-8. That's what Liverpool do have, numbers. It's always 2 against 1. Kirkes has had a foul. There wasn't all in it, but there was enough. As Kirkes hits the deck, and the linesman with a great view right in front of him. And then your question is, if Gusto has the ball that deep into the Liverpool half, which hasn't been there all that often, why are you giving away a cheap free kick like that? Yeah,
it's poor. I have to say, I do feel a little bit here for Callum McFarlane. I think ultimately the way he set up his team is, I mean, he's tried something, but I don't think now's the time to be trying something. However, what I would say is it almost feels like he's having to try something because of, as you'd say, probably the injuries. I don't like making excuses of injuries, but they have not got a single winger fit. They haven't got a single senior winger fit. Neto, Garnacho, Esteval, Gittins, they're all missing. All 4 are missing through injury. So you come into this game and you go, who do we play out? Why not break off chance here for Chelsea?
Cucurella's going to be played in down the left-hand side. Shot comes in, good save. Mabadashvili all the way across goal. Gusto kicks it again into the box, cleared out by Van Dijk. Good positioning by the Liverpool skipper. It's a brilliant save. He hasn't had a lot to do, the number 25, the substitute keeper. But he's been brilliant there. It was a shot that came across. He had to shoot Cucurella on the left-hand side. The angle was slightly against him on the left side. It was bouncing on the half volley as well, but he drilled it low into the right-hand corner. Mamardashvili, big guy, gets down quick and well.
Yeah, he does. I think Liverpool fans will probably agree that he's gotten a lot better the more he's played, whichly, and looked really nervy. But as time went on, he looked more and more secure. I was gutted for him when he picked up that injury against Everton, because he was having an alright game, and he was looking a better goalkeeper. Back against the side he made his Premier League debut against, when he had 2 put past him, 2 which, by the way, he could do absolutely nothing about. Particularly the Caicedo goal was an absolute screamer. But yeah, he does look a very good goalkeeper. And with talks of Alisson potentially leaving in the summer, Liverpool are umming and ahhing as to whether they bring in a new goalkeeper. I honestly don't think they need to. I don't think they need to bring in a new number 1.
And he's just put up claims there with a brilliant save. Chelsea back on the ball in that final third of Liverpool's half, just vacating out of that, about halfway inside of the Liverpool half, left flank. Ball's going to come in now, it's hit the first man, and it will be out. Jeremy Frimpong, he's been fairly quiet, the former Leverkusen man so far, playing right wing this afternoon. He's back with Moises Caicedo himself, been slightly quiet centrally in the Liverpool half. You say a lot of Chelsea players have been quiet, to be frank, not seen a lot of the ball going forward. There's Andre Santos centrally. He's going to move it to the near side to Gusto. Cole Palmer moves inside. What can he do? Can he bring something out of absolutely nothing? He can do that, the best players can, but recycles it to Cucurella on the far side, who's probably the busiest Chelsea player this afternoon in the half an hour we've seen at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 0. Caicedo driving forward on the 180 spin, feeds it forward. It's in between 2 players, it shouldn't have been, but luckily get it back. Santos moves it to the near side. Gusto collects it. Can he get a ball into the box? Kirkes slams him in the face. just blocking off that lane. And Gamoa, question marks over his defending, but he's done it well there. He's collected the ball off Guso, running forward, needs to look up, runs into trouble, and gives the ball straight back to Chelsea. And they can come again.
You just don't get that forward running from Cody Gakpo playing through the midfield. Also, ultimately, the hand is forced Liverpool because Ekitike is obviously out injured, and Isak, they don't want to rush him back with his injury issues. But Engamo needs a forward run on that. He just didn't get it from Gakpo.
And Chelsea back on it with Cucurella, left flank. Chopping back on the right hand, the right foot, but had to play it backwards this time. Caicedo over the top, looking for Cucurella again. He's found him, chest into the box. Mamardashvili got there in the end. A chest down, just got away from him slightly. It's almost a rinse and repeat of the chance we saw moments ago. This time at his chest rather than his feet. It was a good run from the Spaniard, and he was late picked up. He was onside as well. The chest went across goal and just got away from him enough. Mamardashvili once again out lively.
Yeah, good goalkeeping from Mamardashvili. Poor from Marc Cucurella. This is why you need a left winger playing on the left-hand side. Gravenberg's got to do better at tracking that run. Got to accept that actually it's better to get behind the ball than it is under the ball, and that's exactly what happened. Chelsea have dominated possession in the last 10 minutes or so, just 11% possession for Liverpool. It's hard to tell whether it's a conscious thing, whether Liverpool have gone, you know what, we've been on top for 25 minutes I should say. Do we need to sit back? Do we need to try and conserve a little bit here? Or whether it is Chelsea taking things up a little bit. It's hard to tell, but here the Blues come again.
Down the left-hand side, Cucurella with the cross, hit Konate. He's asking for a corner. I think Craig Pawson has given it that way. Cucurella ran over to collect the ball. Konate with strong appeals, especially the Anfield stand. Let's have a look. And he had an absolute right claim. It bounced back off Cucurella, and that should be a goal kick. Interesting if this hits the back of the net. They go short with the corner. Back it goes to the far side. Cole Palmer. He's got a chance to cross now and hasn't done into the box. Santos trying to play it through. Pet peeve of mine, short corner, especially when they don't work. Sent the big lads forward, just get it in there. They're going to do it now to the back post. That's overhit, and it's going to be a goal kick. An absolute complete waste. Maybe a bit of justice and the fact it should have been a goal kick. But if we're doing fast math, you say the 11% of Liverpool's possession. That's 89% for Chelsea. They've been way on top for the last 5, but the closest they came with Cucurella, who I think is playing practically left winger at the minute. Yeah,
they are that back four, aren't they? Of Hato, Colwell, Fofana and Gusto. And it's working at the minute because they are just able to commit bodies forward, but we saw obviously in the early parts of the game it's a system which I'm not entirely sure is best suited to this Chelsea side, but you can't really criticise, can you, when things are going as well as they are at the moment. I'm intrigued to see how Liverpool go about this now, because I don't think they've got the quality for the next 15 minutes just to sit and soak up the pressure. I just don't think they can. So they're now looking, by looks things, to just hold on to the ball, but they have to be sensible. They really do.
Yeah, Liverpool look best when they have the ball, and as soon as they say sensible, Konate just overran. They got quite fortunate there. Caicedo went in. That's his second one. The first one wasn't generous either, and I think Craig Pawson really let him off with the first one. That was only a couple of minutes into the game. I think that one has to be yellow card, Luke.
I mean, it should be. The first one absolutely should have been a yellow card. I always find it really fascinating trying to lip read footballers when they disagree with a referee, because they just come out with the most random things. Moises Caicedo shouting that I won the ball. He won a lot of things in that challenge. The ball was not one of them. It really wasn't. So I'm not entirely sure. I always wonder, do they genuinely think they did win the ball, or are they just trying to say something to the referee to disagree? Because I can tell you now, there's not a morsel of the ball that was touched there by Moises Caicedo.
Rugby league, that's a good tackle, isn't it? I mean, that's as good as it gets, really. The Slovak side plays it backwards. It's going to Konate just behind him, right inside of his own box. Going to have to go at Mamardashvili. His footwork is going to be questioned now. See what can happen. He's going to have to. He's hooked it clear out for a throw into Chelsea on the near side. It's probably the best option if you don't feel like you're safe enough to play it out. You just had to hack it into touch. And he's slow with a bit of a frustrating body language in that dugout. Maybe just not massively happy with what his team has shown since the goal. But Liverpool look best when they have the ball rather than up against it. That's surely a foul by Cody Gakpo. I'd be very frustrated if Craig Pawson gives a yellow card here. He hasn't against the Dutchman. And I think it's probably more consistently wrong, but he's consistent.
Yeah, I mean, that one's not a yellow card.
That isn't a yellow card.
That's one of those where the ball was static and you go in to try and win it. And I think is it Cole Palmer who wins it? Just turns his back on the man and takes the challenge from behind. So always a free kick. But Liverpool have got to be careful here. They've looked really poor throughout the season from deliveries into the box. The deliveries haven't been great from Chelsea, but they have got the quality. The camera pans to Mamardashvili. He's got to organise his line well. This has got to be a good delivery in from Chelsea.
Set pieces could be huge. Flat ball in. It's gone all the way through. I don't think he got a touch. And it's 1-1. Fofana's claiming that he didn't get the touch. He's given the credit to the Argentinian, the captain with the free kick. It's a real soft one to give away from a Liverpool point of view. It's a cross that's coming flat, curling away from goal, but it hits the stump of the inside of the post, and it's in the back of the net. It's one of them horrible ones for the keeper because you're waiting for a touch, you don't get one. Everyone stands still in a Liverpool defensive unit. It's a really, really poor one. But Liverpool have conceded after 35 minutes. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1.
I just said it's deliveries into the box. It's time and time again. They're an absolute mess at Liverpool, and they have been all season. There's nobody offside. It's some of the worst defending you're likely to see from a set piece all season. Not a single player taking responsibility. They all just look around at each other as if to say, well, what on earth has happened? They were really poor at the start of the season, Liverpool, from set pieces. They then sat the set piece coach, didn't look to bring anybody else in, and they've somehow not gotten any better. It's terrible. Credit to Chelsea, credit to Enzo Fernandez. We've just said they've got the quality on the pitch to throw in a good delivery and to cause problems. That's exactly what they've done there, and you've got to say credit where credit's due to the Argentinian. He's been poor, but when you've got the players like him, they can do something out of nothing. But from a Liverpool point of view, the last 15 minutes have been dreadful, and it's been capped off by conceding that free kick. And now here comes Chelsea on the counter-attack. Gravenberch giving the ball away. Here's Fernandez, edge of the penalty. He wants a second, held up well by Virgil van Dijk, but the attack's still there.
He's trying to force it through. Caicedo, they may just get through as well into the box. Need to be careful. Liverpool hanging a couple of legs. Pedro trying to force it. It's Cucurella dinks it into the box, gone all the way through, and Gusso back on it. The tails are up now for the Blues. After the last 5 minutes of pressure, get that goal down the line to Gusso on the byline. Ball across, hit Van Dijk. It's a brilliant block by the captain once again. And it's still alive here for Chelsea. They clear the lines. Liverpool hacking it clear. It's the pendulum has definitely swung, and now Liverpool are hanging on. We talked about Liverpool having to defend, and when they do, they look shaky. Their best bets going forward, well, they've hung on in the last 5 or 10 minutes, and then they've conceded, and now the tails are up now for the away side.
It's like a heavyweight boxer getting caught by an uppercut with a minute left to go in the round. All of a sudden, the last 10 or 15 minutes for Liverpool will have felt like a decade, and they've still got quite a bit of time to go till half-time. I mean, I'm not being funny. The first 20-25 minutes, right, Chelsea were absolutely dreadful, and Liverpool, looked good. And then something just switched. Nothing tactical from Chelsea, nothing tactical from Liverpool. Something just switched, and Chelsea all of a sudden were by far the better side. And now all of a sudden, if you're Callum McFarlane, you're thinking, lads, let's get in a half-time ahead, because there's plenty of time to go get a second. And Liverpool don't look like they can keep hold of the ball at the minute.
I think it's a very, very, very important time for Chelsea from this 37.5 minutes to half-time. They need to score while they're on top. We're trying to get a glimpse of if Fofana touched it. I don't think he did. As soon as it went in, Fofana pointed at Enzo Fernandez, I think, just to give him the credit. But either way, that ball's coming in flat at the front post. I shouldn't get anywhere near the goal. It really shouldn't. And it's hit the back of the net. Well, 38 on the clock. If you were in late and listening late, it was Ryan Gravenberch with his 5th in the league this season. In the 6th minute, it's gone down as with a peach of a goal into the top right-hand corner, bending it in from the edge of the box. It was a cracker. And then minutes ago, Enzo Fernandez, the Chelsea skipper, with a cross-come shot, went all the way through into the bottom left-hand corner. And now a ball through. Chelsea might be in one-on-one. It's him again. Fernandez with the left foot. It's a great save, Mamardashvili. It shouldn't have been made, though, because it was right at him. Craig Pawson's just bodied Curtis Jones and blocked the counter-attack. If there's a yellow card that should have come out this afternoon, it should come out to the referee.
Liverpool are an absolute mess at the back. Where is Ibrahima Konate there? He's 4 yards next to Virgil van Dijk and a couple of yards ahead of the rest of the back 4. I mean, he just opens up the space for Enzo Fernandez, who should score, should not allow Mamardashvili the chance. Huge opportunity for Chelsea, and it absolutely should be 2-0. I mean, it's just, it's an absolute mess from the Reds at the minute, but they'll also feel aggrieved there as they were coming forward on the counter-attack. Craig Pawson, basically blocking off Curtis Jones as he came forward. I mean, we're still seeing replays go, it blatantly doesn't touch.
No.
Where's he? I'm not being funny. Right? When have you ever seen a player, after a goal's gone in, wheel off in celebration, desperate to give it to somebody else? I mean, it's obviously not his goal. We're still seeing replays, but either way, Liverpool have now played themselves into more trouble in the corner, and they've given the ball away, getting the defensive third.
No, it's worrying signs for the Reds as Chelsea come forward once again. Palmer centrally in the Liverpool half, the number 10. Bodies one way and the next. Good touch. Looks for the 1-2 with Caicedo and gets it. The Englishman feeds it through. Looking for Cucurella. Pedro may have just taken it off his feet. He's desperate to get the ball, Pedro, but if anything, he's forcing it too much. They can't clear the lines again into the box. He's come outside the box now. Frimpong back there doing his right back duties at right wing. He's cleared it off a Chelsea man, and it's a goal kick. And for anything now, it's respite for Liverpool, who can just take a deep breath in, because they've been under the cosh for now at least 10 minutes. Because, well, it's been a worrying signs now for Liverpool. I've been banging on about the anxiety about Chelsea performance. Well, they have dug themselves out of a hole, and now they're the team on top.
Yeah, they absolutely are. It's about being sensible and doing the sensible things, and I think that's where Chelsea grew into this game. They did really well at saying, actually, do you know what? As me and Nathan have already said, Liverpool look best when they have the ball and when they have the ball in the final third. So what's the first steps to get back into the game? How do we stop the opposition doing what they want? Well, we're going to keep hold of the ball. They did that. They weren't probing. We said for a good 5 or 10 minutes, Chelsea, they've got the ball. They're not really probing here. They're not really offering anything. Okay, that's fine. Eventually, Liverpool dropped deeper and deeper, and they were able to probe. So now Liverpool are going to look at it and go like, right, okay, we're struggling here. When were we at our best in this game? When we're keeping hold of the ball. What do we do now for a 5 or 10 minute spell? Let's keep hold of the ball. But no, they keep doing the poor things in midfield. Gravenberg trying to take the ball on the half turn on the edge of his own penalty area up against Moises Caicedo, who might not be having a great time of things at the minute, but you've got to be sensible. You've got to do everything you can to keep hold of the ball. Here they come now, Liverpool through Frimpong, but again they almost give the ball away rather cheaply. Here though comes Frimpong inside the box. Good chance from Colwill. What's the linesman going to give here? He's going to give a corner over on the far side. In fact, no, he's not. He's going to give a goal kick. How has that worked then? Because Colwill just shouted at him 4 times and he's ended up giving the goal kick. Really odd one there. Let's have a look from the replay. Ultimately, however, I mean, yeah, good decision. It is a goal kick. Well played to the linesman, to Colwill, for being so adamant about it. But ultimately, it's got to be better from Liverpool. It's got to be more sensible. You give credit where credit's due to Chelsea for being better and recognising the situation. Has it been made easier for them? Yes, absolutely. And as we've said earlier on, Liverpool are absolutely praying for half-time just to have 5 minutes where they're not being ran ragged.
20 minutes ago, we wouldn't have even thought about saying them words. Liverpool were all over Chelsea. Chelsea hadn't even got close to the Liverpool goal, and now it's 1-1, and Liverpool want to get into that dressing room. Kirkus just has the ball. He's doing a Cruyff turn on the edge of his own box against Cole Palmer. Didn't fake it. Went down the line. He didn't buy into that, Cole Palmer. And they've just about got away with it. And Gamoa, good feet, but needs to get rid of the ball before he loses it. And he's lost it again. I think he's just got a free kick there. There's a bit of a drag on him. And 42 and a half on the clock. Liverpool and Chelsea won. Unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary. Luke Ashurst, Nathan Mostel taking you through around 36 in the Premier League. Early kickoff. And we are still level. There's 2 goals in this game for both sides. Ball over the top, looking down the line. Sol Frimpong slightly short, but he's won himself a throw-in, about 30 yards from the corner flag, far side. Frimpong's going to go back to go forward. Curtis Jones inside to McAllister. The World Cup winner drives forward. He's ran into trouble far too easily. Nipped off his toes. It's going to go all the way through to Jurgensen. The Dane's just going to hammer it long. It's going to find absolutely no one. And Van Dijk, and it looks like 2 teams at the minute just happy to get into half-time at level.
Yeah, I think maybe Chelsea is sensing that their momentum has maybe sort of dwindled just that little bit. But yeah, ultimately, if you're Liverpool, you're thinking, what has happened in this game? I do think if they can get the ball down the right hand side a little bit more often, they will have a bit more joy. We've seen Cucurella vacate a bit of space. This is exactly what I meant. Go short to then go long. Frimpong trying to link up with Curtis Jones. He's just saying just that little bit shorter. That's what I was just about to say they need to do, right? You can draw Jarell Hato, good player, but he is still young, a little bit naive. You can draw him into positions he doesn't want to be in. Cucurella vacating the space. There is a chance there for Frimpong to get in behind and drive towards the byline, which is where you want him ultimately over on that right-hand side. But he has to go drop short to go long, and they haven't done that anywhere near enough, Liverpool. Ultimately, the left-hand side stopped working. Engamoa is, since probably the 20th minute has looked out of place, has not been able to manage the game how we'd like, and Kirk has always been a little bit erratic on the ball, so it's not really the moment for him. So can you now get the ball moving on down the right hand side, exploit the space that Chelsea are vacating? That is for Liverpool to try and work out. Chelsea, I think, as we've just said, more than happy now, having initially smelt blood and look to go for the jugular, and now thinking, actually, we'll get through to half-time at 1-1 and we'll come out firing in the second half.
Yeah, as Jurgensen just moves it to the far side. He had just hit it into touch for a throw-in, not his best kick. But they're back on the ball and may just think just before the break they're just going to try themselves with 20 seconds to play of the mandatory 45, see how much added time they'll be. It's a good feat from Cole Palmer, actually, to get away from two with a drag back. He has to release the ball and does so inside. That's a poor touch from the captain, and the goal scorer. Slide comes in from Andre Santos, skipped over by Ngamo. Good feat by him. The youngster's going to dance forward. He's just coming to go backwards here, forced inside. And we're going to get 2 added minutes at the end of the first half. Kirkes goes all the way back to Mamardashvili, and they can just stand on the ball. It's a luminous green from head to toe this afternoon. The Liverpool goalkeeper feeds it forward to McAllister, and they can move it to the far side. Kanate, no real movement in front of him. Frimpong's just flirting with that far touch line, but not a lot of movement beyond just yet. Van Dijk's just going to move it to the near side, and Chelsea happy just to sit in, and I think Liverpool happy just to keep the ball at this point, with half a minute of the 2 added on gone. Inside it goes to the goal scorer Gravenberch, trying to drive forward again, but just looks slightly isolated there up against 2. Liverpool again back on the ball. Chelsea can't make it stick. Curtis Jones into Soboslai. Down the line, it's a good idea. Gerald Hatter with really good sense of awareness there. Knew what was behind him and read it well, intercepted it. Kukurea on that far side, just shy of halfway. Man goes down in Caicedo and may have just been given as a free kick. It has against Hungarian. 10 plus goals, 10 plus assists. The first time a player has done that for Liverpool since, guess who? Steven Gerrard, 2013-14. So he's having an absolute brilliant season. That's in all competitions for Soboslai this season. Absolute monumental season for him. He's been absolutely brilliant all season, but he's given away a free kick there, which Jurgensen's just going to trot out very far out of his own area and take it. Just shy of a minute to go. He's going to take his sweet time over it. And everyone just moves slowly backwards. It looks like 2 teams that have shaken hands and said, you know what, we'll just walk in level at half-time. I think 2 teams that are happy just to do so. I think you've got to think Chelsea would be much happier with the point than Liverpool being where they're playing this afternoon.
They'll be much happy with the first half as well, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you always feel that it's the side that ends the first half better that tends to be the happier of the two if the scores are level. And that's exactly the case. I get the feeling that Liverpool will go in at half-time and will get a bit of the hairdryer treatment from Arne Slot, because of the star, they should have been in a much better position than they are now.
And Craig Borson has blown for half-time. We end the first as we started it, and that's level. It's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1.
Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately, Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Mamardashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time, though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately, Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Mamardashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time, though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards out past Philip Jorgensen into the top corner. And the Reds were on top for the first half of that first 45. But ultimately Chelsea grew into the game and capitalised after 35 minutes. Quick free kick from Enzo Fernandez towards the near post. Beat Marmonashvili and everybody in a red shirt. Half-time though, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fantastic first half of football and a real tale of halves inside the first half. Liverpool started off brilliantly and got the goal scoring going inside 6 minutes through Ryan Gravenberch. A lovely right-footed strike from 20 yards.
It's a very warm welcome back to this independent off-tube studio-based commentary of this Premier League fixture at Anfield between Liverpool and Chelsea. The two sides just got underway in the second 45, with both teams going in level at one apiece. No changes at half-time for either side, and no changes at half-time in the commentary either, as it's still myself, Louis Cashers, and Nathan Wassell to take you through all of the action. Liverpool is to get us underway in the second half, having really tailed off in that first 45. Brilliant start, getting the goal scoring going through Ryan Gravenberch inside 6 minutes. But you'd say probably about 25 minutes in, the quality of football really dissipated from the home side, and Chelsea really grew into the game, getting their equaliser after 35 minutes through Enzo Fernandez. Liverpool, though, looking to try and start the second half brightly, moving down the left-hand side. The challenge comes in, though, on Rio and Gamoa, and Van Dijk's forced to come across and do a bit of defending himself. Does well, though, to win the ball back off of Joao Pedro. And now it's a chance for Ibrahima Konate to get his first touches of the second half. But Nathan, going into this second 45, yes, it was level on the scoreline, but it does feel like it's all to do for the Reds in this second half to turn the momentum around and get back on top in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Use the home crowd. That's the main one for Liverpool, is the fact that they're at home. It's not going to be a free kick. Yes, it is. Good feet from Frimpong, tripped by Hato. Need to see more of that in the second half as well. We touched on it in the first. Frimpong up against Hato. We haven't seen enough of that. I think Frimpong can take the young lad for a bit of a ride this afternoon, but haven't seen enough of it. Again, it's just one of them for Liverpool. They need to get in a good second half. Start the second half well, get back in front, and then build on it from there, because they were really hanging on at the end of the first.
They certainly were. Opportunity now, though, for them to get the ball into the penalty area. We've mentioned how poor they've been defensively from set pieces. They haven't been great going forward either, but I would argue in the last couple of months we have seen improvements from Liverpool in terms of their opportunities created, shall we say, from balls into the box. Of course, that late winner in the Merseyside derby for Virgil van Dijk came from a corner. This one, a free kick, swung in by Dominic Szoboszlai towards the near post. McAllister with the header, took it away from Cody Gakpo. Now to play for a goal kick. Gives me a chance, though, to run you through the lineups for Liverpool. It's Mamardashvili in goal, a back four of Kerkez, Van Dijk, Kanate and Jones. Midfield two of McAllister and Gravenberg, with Engamoa, Szoboszlai and Frimpong supporting Gakpo up top. As for Chelsea, Jorgensen in goal, a back four of Gusto, Fofana, Colwell and Hato. Midfield two of Santos and Caicedo, with Palmer, Fernandes and Cucurella supporting João Pedro up front. I was just about to say, if we have a look towards the bench, we can maybe see who could come on in this second half. But if you're looking towards Liverpool's bench, you're not really seeing much, it has to be said. Freddie Woodman back on the bench this afternoon after the return of Mamardashvili. You've got Joe Gomez, Andy Robertson, Mortala and Jai, Trey Nioni, Kieran Morrison, Alexander Isak, Federico Chiesa and Will Wright, as Jorgensen takes a chance there under pressure from Cody Gakpo, and then there's a foul on João Pedro after the ball over the top. For Chelsea, it's Swanina in goal. Swanina, the backup goalkeeper, I should say, as we're going to see a replay of this from Jorgensen. Very, very brave from the backup goalkeeper to take the ball away from Dominic Szoboszlai, as Chelsea have now taken the free kick short. They won in halfway. Easy ball in behind. Frimpong's been caught out. Cucurella, ball across, saved by Mamardashvili, but it's in! Palmer gives Chelsea the early lead in this second half. Quick glance over to make sure João Pedro wasn't offside, but he's not. And Chelsea ahead for the first time in this one, and it's Cole Palmer with the goal. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 2.
Well then, we talked about Liverpool needing a strong second half start. Well, Chelsea themselves needed one if they wanted a maximum 3 points this afternoon, and well, they've got it. It was ugly. It's ugly defending. I'm sure there'll be a hold of this game, because a couple of things just to nitpick from the VAR point of view. Oh, Cucurella may be offside. Cucurella maybe just be offside there, Lou. It's very tight, but for me, he's off. João Pedro is behind Cucurella when the ball comes across. That's fine. Right, it's all down to Cucurella. It's going to go to VAR, so we'll hold our breath. It was a lovely ball from Caicedo from the middle of midfield. But I tell you what, for me, I don't want to get Liverpool's hopes up, but for me, Cucurella, just that left knee, just maybe his left shoulder, that's very tight. We're not bang in line with it either from the camera angle we get, but that's going to be a long look at that, because that's very close.
Well, it shouldn't be, because we've got semi-automated offside. This should be a relatively quick decision, and the decision has been made, and Liverpool have been given a lifeline. The goal has been ruled out. VAR doing its job, showing that Marc Cucurella was offside. Jeremy Frimpong very, very fortunate. It's an absolute mess inside the penalty area for Liverpool. They're all behind the pace of play. Van Dijk almost put the ball into the back of his own net, and ultimately they get away with it. I mean, Nathan, talk us through it. He's dreadful from Liverpool, and they're very, very lucky. Cucurella went just a little bit too early.
Massive let-off. Huge let-off for Liverpool. I mean, we even saw Arnie Slot there on the replay, didn't we? He's going nothing in it. Little in that. It's so close, and that's how close they are from Liverpool from having a horrible start to this second half. But I tell you what, that is a massive let-off, but a massive warning sign for Liverpool. Yeah,
the poor start's continuing, though, because here comes Chelsea again down the left-hand side. This time Frimpong with a decent bit of defending puts the ball out of play on the near side for Chelsea. Though it almost looks like he's playing right back now, Jeremy Frimpong. And Curtis Jones is barking orders, but he's been out of position about 6 times already in this second half. Chelsea now trying to drive through towards the edge of the penalty area. Again, Liverpool give the ball away. Gakpo lose touch. He's then challenged in midfield. Caicedo wins it back. McAllister then fouls his former Brighton teammate, and has that been given as a Liverpool free kick? I've got no idea what the referee's given here. It's an absolute mess, and I tell you what, Liverpool are in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, I think it's going to go to Chelsea. There was a nudge from McAllister
Correct decision.
I think so, yeah. We'll have another look. The sliding tackle was strong but fair, and then there was a nudge, but they've taken it quickly.
Yeah, they have taken it quickly. Here's Enzo Fernandez, 30 yards away from goal. Feeds Hato down the left-hand side. Hato now back into Fernandez. Fernandez, decent ball to Palmer. First time pass is a poor one, gives the ball away. Now maybe a counter-attack opportunity here for Liverpool. Here's Soboslai, space on the left-hand side for Ngamoa. Ngamoa with space to run into. Here comes the 17-year-old driving into the penalty area. Overlapping run to Gakpo. Feeds Gakpo, can't get the ball out of his feet, and it's straight out of play for a goal kick. That is a complete waste. Not a great pass from Ngamoa to feed Cody Gakpo, but he had no idea what he wanted to do. Ball straight out of play.
Yeah, this is the criticism for Rio Ngamoa. He's a brilliant talent. He's young and he's raw and he's green. He's brilliant at dribbling, but his end product, his decision making is still a little bit inexperienced, and it needs to get a little bit better. Liverpool doing really well there to win the throw-in high up here from Dominic Szoboszlai. He's working really hard for his team. Got a throw in on this near side just to keep it alive and just keeping hold of the ball for Liverpool at this point, because it's similar to the first half. When they don't have the ball, it's a worrying factor, but when they have it, they look dangerous.
Yeah, lovely turn from Gravenberch. Frimpong with the strike. Couldn't get any power on it. Easy save for Philip Jorgensen. Good play from Gravenberch. Nice half turn in the final third. He's looked alright on the half turn when he's not up against a player of the quality of Moises Caicedo. As Kirkes has fouled Palmer from behind. Interesting to note. Seen Levi Colwill on his haunches. He might be about to go down here. The Chelsea man played more minutes this afternoon than he has all season. Of course, made his first appearance of the season coming on at half-time against Nottingham Forest last weekend. He's now back to his feet, but doesn't look great here, Levi Colwill, and this will be a worry for Callum McFarlane. I was mentioned the bench earlier on for Chelsea. They've certainly got a stronger bench than Liverpool. Swinina, the backup goalkeeper, in goal on the bench. Reece James, Josh Acheampong, Tosin Adarabioyo, Trevor Chalobah, Romeo Lavia, Matisse Aboué, Liam Delap and Ryan Kavuma-McQueen. They've got more options than Liverpool, but not really too many attacking options. As Ngamoa now, ball on the left-hand side, easily taken away from him by Gusto. Challenge then comes in from McAllister, throwing given the way of Chelsea, much to the disappointment of a number in a red shirt. See a replay of it now. Whose throw should it have been? Yeah, Chelsea throw, good decision.
I love a good 50-50 nowadays, because normally they end up with a foul, and it's very refreshing and healthy to see, isn't it? Especially when it doesn't come to anything but a throw-in and no foul, given a good physical challenge from both.
Curtis Jones really struggling at the minute. He thought he was fouled there by Enzo Fernandez. Referee Craig Pawson disagreed, and he's given the ball away sloppily, Curtis Jones. And now here comes Chelsea on the attack. Here's Joao Pedro down the left-hand side, one-on-one with Ibrahima Konate. Great ball in behind. Cucurella is there. Brilliant challenge comes in from Alexis McAllister to see the ball out of play for a corner. He's having to do an awful lot in this second half, and he's gone down, McAllister, after the challenge. Curtis Jones is having a real torrid time at the minute at right back. I don't be surprised to see Joe Gomez on in the next 5 or 10 minutes, because he looks all over the place, the Liverpool Academy graduate, and McAllister's hurt himself in the process of making that recovery challenge.
So he's rolled his ankle, a bit of weight landed on him from Cucurella as well, but McAllister's been unbelievable. He's been the standout for Liverpool. He's covering 2 or 3 positions, and one of them being Curtis Jones' right back position, having to help him out on numerous occasions, working really hard. He did exceptionally well. That was absolutely crucial, because Chelsea would have been in on goal. Having to rely on him to come back and get the business done, absolutely brilliant. But there is a Chelsea corner to defend.
Hato, Fofana and Colwill all up from the back. Corner taking short to Palmer. Now edge of the box for Gusto. Gusto across to Caicedo. Caicedo now back to Gusto. Gusto then to Palmer on the left-hand side. Liverpool get bodies back. Ngamoa dealing with Palmer. No foul there, surely, on the near side. No. Referee agrees, and Ngamoa can drive forward, and maybe Liverpool can come forward on the counter-attack. Ngamoa brought down by Fernandez. No, brought down by Gusto, though, and that'll be a free kick. And Chelsea are absolutely furious, but I mean, I don't know. Me personally, I didn't see anything too wrong with that, Nathan. You break it down for us, because to me, I think Craig Pawson actually has got that right on this occasion.
I think so. There's enough in it. The dugout comes flying up, Chelsea right in front of it. I think Ngamoa's just done brilliantly well. He's just an absolutely fantastic. He's attracting the foul. He's looking for it, because he's up against 2 trapped right in the near side. But he wins a free kick, and that's all well for me. Cole Palmer on the other flip of the coin, he's just fallen over. They've muffed up the short corner, and he's gone to look for a foul. There wasn't anything in it whatsoever. Craig Pawson's done very, very well there.
When every team in the country's had so much joy against Liverpool swinging the ball into the box, I'm not sure why they've persisted in taking short corners, Chelsea.
Exactly.
But it is an odd one. I think we're about to see Reece James come on for Levi Colwill sooner rather than later. Maybe we see Jarell Hato slot back in at centre half and see Reece James come on, because he seems to be limbering up, the Chelsea captain, on his return from injury, and Colwill still not looking overly comfortable, it has to be said. It looked like there'd been a red card in the Championship playoff semi-final, but I don't know whether that's been rescinded or not. I'll try and get an update on that, but it did look for a moment like there was a red card. What a ball that is. Curtis Jones has found himself in acres of space. Goal side of Kukurea as well. Where's this come from for Liverpool? Jones, edge of the penalty area, feeds Gravenberch, lights flick to Soboslai, then looking for Kirkus. Was he fouled there by Fofana? He wasn't. The chance has broken down, and now a chance for Chelsea to come forward. In fact, a great chance for Chelsea to come forward. Here's Fernandes over onto the near side for Joao Pedro. Liverpool get bodies back, and it breaks down. All of a sudden, there was so much space there in behind for Liverpool and for Curtis Jones, and in the end it's very quickly broken down. I tell you what, there has been a change in system here. Frimpong is playing right back, and Liverpool are almost playing now with 4 central midfielders, because Curtis Jones is really struggling in the second half, and at no point does he look to get back and sit in the right back position. So something's very clearly changed here, because they just look like the right-hand side is all over the place.
Yeah, I think they put all cards on the table and they're throwing everything forward. It's a risk from Arne Slot, but I can see exactly why he's done it. Curtis Jones there, it was brilliant. It was just, I think Chelsea just getting a bit too comfortable going forward, and now a chance for Liverpool.
Yeah, Jones driving forward, lovely ball to the right-hand side for Frimpong with acres of space to attack. Frimpong drifts wide, now drifting into the penalty area, one-on-one with Kukurea, ball to the edge box, Soboslai, chip ball for Gakpo, header across, Jones is there! And Jones has got Liverpool ahead! Unbelievable! But the flag has gone up. The flag has gone up for offside. That was it. VAR will, of course, have a look. Gakpo, I think it is, who the flag has gone up against. We'll see from the replay now. Huge moment in this game as Liverpool come forward. Soboslai with the ball towards the back post, and I think
it doesn't need to be.
It's tight, but I think it is Gakpo offside.
It's lazy. He's looking right across it as well, waiting for the cross. He's just stood still. He doesn't move with the line. He needs to drop back with the line. He's just looking across, standing still. Far too lazy from Gakpo there. He should do a lot better. He hasn't done a lot in this game. He did the right thing there. Very unselfish. Had it back across. We'd criticise Curtis Jones, but he's pushed forward there, like you say, at half-time. Got in the right position. Good header back across. Goalkeeper had no chance. But for me, Cody Gakpo's a good ball in from Soboslai to the back post. A high searcher. He's got to stay onside.
He does have to stay onside. He is looking across the line. It is incredibly tight. It's one of those where if his weight's on a different leg, then he's not offside. But that's the way it goes. Liverpool are looking to try and carry this momentum forward. Gravenberch away from a couple. Feeds Frimpong on the byline. Frimpong ball into the box. Did it hit a hand? Referee says no. Gravenberch will keep it moving. Soboslai! Great save, Philip Jorgensen. Appeals for a handball. Now the corner's been given. Fernandes screaming in the face of Craig Pawson. How we've still not seen a yellow card in this game, I've got absolutely no idea. As 3 Chelsea players hound the referee. I mean, I have to say, we've criticised Liverpool's defending a lot in this game, but that's woeful from the Chelsea midfield, as we're now going to see a replay of the potential handball. It does hit the arm, but I think because it's along the floor, it's not going to be given against Joel Hatto.
Yeah, he's laying his elbow down to hold himself on the surface, and you don't really see them giving it. It does hit the hand, but it doesn't get given. It's one of them. Unfortunately, I don't think it has been corner at Liverpool.
Corner to be swung in by Alexis McAllister on the near side. In fact, he'll play it short to Curtis Jones. Eventually it'll find its way to Soboslai, but all of a sudden Chelsea get bodies out. Here's Jones now edge of the penalty area, ball in behind, looking towards Gravenberch, easily intercepted by Levi Colwill, and now maybe a counter-attack for Chelsea. Lofted ball played forward towards Cole Palmer, well read by Mamardashvili, launches a long left-footed ball forward, and that's just going to skip out of play for a goal kick down the other end of the field. More free kick, more set pieces I should say, being wasted by Liverpool, by both these two sides I should say, sorry. As we see a replay of that effort from Dominic Soboslai. It's the save you'd expect Jorgensen to make.
It is, and what makes it so vicious for Soboslai is the power he gets behind it. Yes, it's not right in the corner again, it's fairly central, but it's point blank right in the edge of the box, and he lashes it with the instep. Got some real power on it, the Hungarian, but Jorgensen had to be alive to it. Like you say, you'd expect him to make it, but a good save nonetheless.
And now we're going to Anfield, independent off-tube studio-based commentary. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fascinating game of football so far. I mean, I've already used this analogy once in a different context, but it feels like a heavyweight boxing match at the minute, the way it's just swinging from side to side. It's been a fantastic watch so far. Not necessarily if you're involved with either side, because I think you'll probably feel that both teams could play a lot better and have got the capabilities of being ahead in this game. But ultimately, it is from a neutral point of view, a really entertaining watch, as it so often is between Liverpool and Chelsea. A reminder that a win today for Liverpool maybe not quite mathematically, but almost certainly secures Champions League football for them next season. It also puts the pressure on Aston Villa to win this weekend after they won midweek in the Europa League semi-final against Nottingham Forest. For Chelsea, they really need the win just to end this run of defeat in the league, but also as well it's a chance for them to do the double over Liverpool for the first time since 2013-2014. Kirkic tries to feed Gakpo in behind that, overhit and straight into Philip Jorgensen as Reece James is receiving some last minute instructions as he's ready to come on the near side. Chelsea now trying to play out from the back. Jorgensen almost gives it away to Szoboszlai, but again he gets away with it after the press from the Hungarian. Kirkic has done well to win the ball back off of João Pedro. Liverpool have possession back once more along midfield. Here's Curtis Jones, fires it onto the near side for Frimpong. Frimpong wants a run here at Jarell Hato, and he's away from his fellow Dutchman. Chip ball towards the back post, will find its way to Ngamoa, over the head of Malo Gusto. Ngamoa, marshalled by two in blue, will feed Cody Gakpo. Gakpo now over onto the left hand side for Milos Kerkez. Kerkez wants away from Palmer, can't get away from him, and then Palmer will just throw himself on the floor. Kerkez furious, but he knows what he's doing, Cole Palmer, and gets the free kick in the end.
Yeah, it's one of them ones that in this modern day football I don't like. It's, just trickling along, waiting for a touch and then just throw yourself to the floor. It's never a good one, is it? But it's enough. It looks like André Santos is the first man to be hacked, the Brazilian. He's done okay, kept it ticking along in the first half, but not seen much of it in the second. And now the club captain, Reece James, is going to be coming on the field. Enzo Fernandez gives André Santos the armband to give to him as he makes way. Warm reception from them travelling fans, but just under half an hour to go, plus additional. This game's still wide open.
He's one of those players, André Santos, who's, neat and tidy, but I just don't know what he offers.
Doesn't set the ball
he doesn't dribble the ball well. He doesn't, pass the ball particularly well. He's not very quick. He's not very strong. I wouldn't say he reads the game particularly well. It doesn't scream a Chelsea player to me. You look back at the midfields they've had in the past: Lampard, Essien, Makelele, Fabregas, Kante. Even more recent times, Caicedo, Kovacic. He's not in that ilk of player, is he? I mean, he's all right today, but he's just not. Even with the Liverpool midfield looking porous, he's just not been there to take advantage. And you feel now, with Reece James on, the Chelsea midfield all of a sudden has got a new lease of life. I'll break off because Liverpool are trying to win the ball back high up here. It's a foul there from Gravenberch on Caicedo, and that'll be a free kick to the visitors.
And still no yellow card for anyone. Can you believe 64 minutes on the clock? There was enough in that. There was enough of a touch. It's not massive, but there's enough. If you're barging through the back of someone, it's inevitable. It'll be given as a free kick. Chelsea just gone in their shell ever so slightly, maybe just been rattled by a couple of Liverpool chances, especially that disallowed goal, the Curtis Jones one where Gakpo was offside. Maybe just made a bit shaky. Mamardashvili taking a chance here.
Yeah, he thought the ball was going to roll into the penalty area. It didn't. Knew he had to play it, and he didn't play it very well. Chelsea looking to try and capitalise, although it's been defended well in the end by McAllister. Fofana will skip away from Szoboszlai. McAllister fouled his man in midfield. Referee says no. And in fact, yes, he does. He does bring it back for a foul on Reece James as Liverpool are readying a change of their own on the near side. Alexander Isak ready to come on. It should be for Cody Gakpo. It won't be. It will be for Rio Ngamoa. I'm quietly confident of that. And Gakpo will move out onto the left-hand side. It's always really hard with Alexander Isak because I think over his last 10 Liverpool appearances, he's really started to look the player that we know he is. The problem is those 10 appearances have been made over probably, the last 5 months. So it's really, really difficult to tell. But I think if you're Chelsea, you have now got to be a little bit cautious because rather than Cody Gakpo being the man up front waiting for a chance, it's now Alexander Isak, and you can't give him a chance because he will find the back of the net.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a run of games and fitness for Isak. A torrid injury season once again. He's had it in his career, but he's had a heavy one. But Chelsea coming forward, Cucurella.
Yeah, Cucurella left-hand side, one-on-one with Curtis Jones. Ball attempted to be played into the box, is blocked well by the Liverpool man, and out of play for a corner on the near side. He looks bewildered, Curtis Jones. He's been absolutely ran ragged. Him and Canate positionally this afternoon have really been poor, I have to say, and it is something Arne Slot's going to have to look at potentially in this game but also in the future. and as I expected, that change is now being made, and it is Ngamo off for Isak. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I know it sounds like I'm saying all the fans. I don't know what I think of that change. To be brutally honest, excuse me. There has been this, constant reinforcing that Ngamo is 17. He cannot be playing these games. But as Chelsea fans will attest with Esteval, sometimes it's not about how young a player is. Sometimes you need that quality.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the hour mark, just over, he has to come off. You can't be pushing him, especially this late into a season. Remember him introducing himself with that late goal at St James's Park early in the season. Making a name for himself. He's done brilliant. He's had a fantastic breakout season, but he has to be managed, and he is. So Cody Gakpo with the least amount of touches in this game so far. Is that because he's playing up front? Maybe, but he's in the teens. 18 touches he had just before he touched that assist that was then ruled out. He moves to that left hand side, and Isak comes on up top.
Great long ball down the near side, looking for Jeremy Frimpong. He gets there away from Drell Hatto. He's then pulled back by Drell Hatto. That's got to be the first yellow card of the afternoon, and finally it is. 67 minutes into the game, we do see the first yellow card. How we're only seeing the first yellow card, I'm not too sure, but Drell Hatto could not deal with Jeremy Frimpong there.
No, and that's why he resorted to putting two hands on his arm and yanking him down as hard as he could. If you're getting beaten, that's what you do, and now he dances on that yellow card for the next 20 plus minutes. He knew exactly what he was doing, and it's a yellow card. Well done, Craig Pawson. But a free kick and a set piece for Szoboszlai. It's on the right hand side. I'm pretty confident myself now in saying that he's probably not shooting. You probably are going to cross this. I mean, for him, you won't put it against him, but I think you've got to be looking for the likes of Virgil van Dijk in the box.
You've got to try and test Philip Jorgensen from this position. Kanate and Van Dijk up from the back. Gakpo and Isak in there as well. It might sound daft say given his height, but McAllister in there as an option too. He's fantastic in the air, the Argentinian. What can Dominic Szoboszlai do with this one? Kerkez and Gravenberg lingering on the edge of the box. Jones is there at the back post, unmarked. Szoboszlai will float this one in towards Curtis Jones. I say towards. He was the closest to it, but it's nowhere near anybody. He's fired that across goal, and that's straight out of play for a throw-in over onto the far side. We've played 68 minutes in this one at Anfield. Independent off-tube studio-based commentary. It's a Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Fascinating game of football so far. And to take us through the final quarter of the game, I'm going to hand it over to Nathan.
Thank you very much. As Chelsea will get the game resumed once again with a throw-in right on the touchline on the far side. They get the ball straight away. Reece James back heel has come. That's off Szoboszlai. It's going to be a Chelsea throw-in, pretty much where they had the first one. Malo Gusto, who avoid the substitution moments ago. I thought it might have been him for Reece James, but he stays on. Reece James will probably go into that centre midfield position. Looks like he is there. It has been the last 5 minutes. Cole Palmer's just going to hack this forward. Will we get a winner in this game? Who knows? Liverpool aren't guaranteed Champions League with a point, I don't believe. It does rest on Bournemouth later today, can you believe? I can't believe you're saying them words, but Bournemouth had a brilliant season so far. It depends on their results, but if they get 3 points this afternoon, Liverpool are guaranteed Champions League, and surely a free kick. Curtis Jones, João Pedro's gone in late on him, who's not afraid of getting in people's faces, that South American blood. He's hacked down Curtis Jones, and it will be a free kick. They're going to go back to go forwards now. The other game, by the way, the Championship playoff semi-final first leg at the Riverside on Teesside, it's still 0-0, Middlesbrough 0, Southampton 0. I do believe it's Middlesbrough absolutely hammering Southampton. They've hit the post as well, they've missed a couple of big chances, but no breakthrough with 20 minutes to play. Can there be a goal there? And we're level on Anfield, but we've had a couple of goals, and Gravenberch, that was the starter of that, has got the ball. Back it goes to Curtis Jones. Needs to move it to the near side, trying to dink it forward to Isak. That's a poor ball into the centre. Kanate will recycle. Frimpong backtracking. Kukurea tenacious, then leaves an elbow in. There's no need for that. That will be a throw-in on the near side. I mean, he's one of them players that you love to have in your side, but everybody else hates him.
Yeah. I think Andy Robertson potentially fits that ilk as well. He's a good player, and there's no reason for players to feel the need to be likeable, but he certainly isn't, I think is fair to say. Szoboszlai! This is also off the post! Brilliant effort from Dominic Szoboszlai, just unable to find the back of that. How unfortunate. Great effort from him, and off the near post.
Out of nothing, he caught that sweetly. Right off the stump of the left post. Why are they giving him that much room on the edge? There's the one person you shouldn't be giving room on the edge of the box. Really poor, actually. Closest Liverpool have come, minus the disallowed goal. Kukurea surely tricked Frimpong. Yeah, that's a free kick just inside their own half. But yeah, massive let off there for Chelsea. 20 minutes to go. Liverpool would have surely gone on to win this game. Just get another look. Yeah, there's enough of a touch from Kukurea and a bit of a pull of the arm. How he's not got a yellow card is beyond me as well. We've said that about every game for Cucurella, to be frank. But yeah, it was a brilliant effort, wasn't it, from somebody that cut through it with the laces. Brilliant effort to the bottom post. Very unlucky.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate from Dominic Szoboszlai. Not his best game this afternoon by any stretch of the imagination. His season's almost tailed off a little bit in recent weeks, it has to be said, which is odd because Liverpool have gotten better. Had been getting better prior to that Manchester United defeat. But yeah, he's not stood out as much as he normally does. I'll break off because here come Liverpool down the left-hand side.
Ball into the box is deep. It's gone all the way through at Frimpong on the near side. Keeps it alive. He stood up against Hattos on that yellow card, of course. And ball inside to Gravenberch to the edge of the box through McAllister. About 25 yards out, goes right to Curtis Jones. He's got room to roam. He can get a cross in. He's shy against it. Down the line to Frimpong. Back it goes to Gravenberch. Just keeping a neat little triangle on this right-hand side. Now can they get a ball into the box? Still don't fancy it. To Curtis Jones. There's always two Chelsea men to Liverpool's one. Left-footed ball into a bit of a teaser from Jones, always curling towards the keeper. Of all the opportunities they had to cross the ball on Liverpool, that wasn't the deciding time to cross that in with Liverpool's Curtis Jones' left foot.
You've just got to try and draw him out. Don't be scared to go backwards. Liverpool have had a bad habit this season, just trying to camp 30 yards away from goal with the other team have got 11 bodies back as Fernandes absolutely wiped out Curtis Jones there, and I think he's going to get a yellow card. Yes, he is, from Craig Pawson. Made no attempt to win the ball there. The Argentinian wants Jones skipped away from him, just took out the legs of Curtis Jones, and good decision from Craig Pawson. But yeah, Liverpool at times have a bad habit of just passing the ball from side to side 30 yards away from goal, having allowed the opposition to get 11 men behind the ball. There's no point. Try and draw them out. Go backwards. Yes, arguably you're inviting pressure, but you're not doing anything on the edge of the box, 30 yards out if they've got all those bodies back.
Well, Szoboszlai crossing very, very far towards the halfway line, but he's got enough in his locker to get a decent ball into the box. McAllister and Gakpo having words as the defensive line edge of their own box for the Blues, who need to remain concentrated. It's going to be ball in now. Doesn't look too bad. Header comes in over the bar. May have come off a Chelsea man, Might have just headed that back across of his own bar. He did. It was Levi Colwill heading it over. It's just anywhere will do. Jurgensen with a stretch, but it was comfortably over the bar. But it will be a Liverpool corner. He's gone out to take this one on the near side. There's Dominic Szoboszlai, the number 8. Put a half-decent ball in moments ago. Can they find the likes of Van Dijk, Konate, Gakpo's in there. McAllister himself's no slouch for a smaller figure. Alexander Isak's in there as well, can score with his head if he wants to. Left arm up in the air. Here comes a ball in for the Reds. Outswinger comes in. It's only a blue head that's on it. It's out to Curtis Jones. It's relentless now for Liverpool. Chelsea really can't get out in these last stages of this second half. Jones to the near side to Szoboszlai once again. No real gap to cross the ball just yet. He may just do it now with the left. He has its underhit. It's hit Cucurella. He's back to halfway. Everyone stays forward for Liverpool as Frimpong moves it to the near side. They're patient with the crossing at Liverpool. Everyone stays forward. Frimpong needs to be careful with Pedro sniffing around, and they're gone all the way back to Mamardashvili. And he's just going to hook this one with the left foot forward. Didn't really catch it, but Konate will be under it. Strong from Colwell once again, who's done well in the air this afternoon, it has to be said. Caicedo, good feet. Finding Cole Palmer, who's just going to drive forward. His room on the far side. He's going to find Gusto. It's a seldom attack for Chelsea in the 75th minute. And Palmer studs on the ball, looking to make something happen. Nothing really coming about. So he whips it to the near side to Hato, moves it to the near side to Cucurella. And back it goes. Liverpool's chance to sit in. 75 on the clock. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Going to dig the ball forward all the way through to Mamardashvili. Just seems like substitutions are needed at this point.
Yeah, quite possibly. The problem is Chelsea don't have any attacking players to bring on, and Liverpool, quite frankly, don't really have any senior players to bring on. They've got Joe Gomez, Andy Robertson and Federico Chiesa on the bench in terms of their outfield senior options. I mean, they don't need a left back on at the minute. Kirkers are doing all right, but don't be surprised if we see Andy Robertson on at some point. Gomez could come on, maybe set Curtis Jones free. Konate maybe has just picked up a bit of a knock as well, moving a little bit gingerly. I'd be very shocked to see Federico Chiesa come on this afternoon if Liverpool is still level at any point in the game. He was appalling against Manchester United last weekend, and I think that may have been the end of his Liverpool career potentially. Is here come Chelsea. João Pedro inside the box, never caught it the way he wanted to. Far far too easy for him to skip past a couple and get into the penalty area. The finish, though, had to be better from the Brazilian.
It did, and you can see exactly what he's going for, and he's been allowed to have a couple of yards in there. He's dancing through the Brazilian. He does well to earn himself a bit of space, gets a bit of a stroke look, but Konate, he's just on the backtrack, just doesn't look comfortable with it. You can see he's trying to bend it into the top right-hand corner, and if he finds the target there, that's 2-1. It's not a million miles away, but you won't exactly call that whisking past the post. For me, for his standards, of course, Chelsea's top scorer with 15 in the league this season. He has to do better. A couple of substitutions. Federico Chiesa and Joe Gomez are going to be coming on. It's the obvious options, but they haven't got a strong bench this afternoon. I think Cody Gakpo will be one of them.
I can't believe I've just said I didn't think Chiesa would see the pitch this afternoon. I think that probably says a bit more about Cody Gakpo's performance than it does Federico Chiesa. I did think Konate would see himself off. He went up for that header a moment ago and came down and never moved the same way again. But honestly, this Chiesa change has really, really shocked me. He was... I don't want to sound harsh. I appreciate it was a really difficult situation to come on in. Excuse me, at Old Trafford. But he just did not know what he was doing at all, Casey. He was just running around and could not get a hold of the ball. So this has shocked me. It has to be said. With 13 minutes left to go, Liverpool have basically looked at it and gone, well, we may as well give it a go here because, we've looked at times that we could give it a go tonight.
Yeah, Chiesa, of course, heavily linked away from Liverpool over last summer. Still wearing red and still trying to give it his all. That's a poor ball inside. Giving straight to Szoboszlai. Moved inside to Gravenberch. Over to the near side. He's out with his first touch. He feeds it to Jeremy Frimpong inside the box. Right inside. Dinks the ball in. Not enough love on it. Not enough purchase. Jurgensen comes out and collects. He balls it out to Kukurea. It's becoming a bit of a basketball match. Arne Slot trying to feed his team over. Looks slightly tired. That's a good win back from Alexander Isak. Nips it off Caicedo into the box. Right hand side. Didn't look comfortable on the ball. It may just go out for a goal kick this if it's gone, but Frimpong's done well. That should be a corner. In the end, Kukurea's come across, and I think it will be. I don't know what he's pleading at. He's asked for a goal kick, and it very clearly came off the Spaniard.
Tell me if I'm wrong, Nathan, but I feel like if I was a linesman and a player came over to me screaming expletives, I'd think I'd be less inclined to give the decision their way. I'll be brutally honest. I'm not going to repeat what Mark Kukurea said because there's not a time of the day where that word is appropriate to be broadcasted. However, as a linesman, you're never going to give a player the decision. If they come over screaming at you like that, there's no composure in this Chelsea side at times. There really isn't.
He's been doing it all second half as well. Szoboszlai's going to take this corner into the box. Man goes down. Oh, it's off the bar. It's off the bar. There's a couple of players falling over. I think Van Dijk may have been the culprit of the header. Did he get pulled down? There was definite arm in there. It's going to be a goal kick for now, but someone hit the deck. I saw a couple of players go down. There was a definite call for someone. Let's have a look. James on Chiesa. There's arms around it. There's Fofana. There's a man on the far side. There's Joe Gomez hitting the deck off Pedro. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of hands. Is there enough of anything? I don't really know. May just be given as a goal kick, this one, which is my hunch.
I'll be honest. As much as there is, which I don't like seeing, but it's just the nature of it. If you start having a proper look at this, then you're going to end up taking 5 minutes over every corner. I think ultimately what needs to happen is rules need to be outlined at the start of the season, at the start of next season, where we say this cannot happen. So the rule's got to be if arms are looped around a player, that's a penalty. Or if shirts are pulled, that's a penalty. That way, they can be conclusive. Because at the minute, I actually don't think the referees know what they can and can't give a penalty for. And there are some things which happen in there which probably should be a penalty. But because they happen every single corner, you almost feel like you can't give it. Yeah. I think the way they need to go about it is they need to, as they've done with the hair pull, where they've said, if you touch someone's hair, no matter the strength, that is a red card. What they need to do is, they say, from a corner, if you put your arm around someone, as in actually loop your arm around someone, that is a penalty, and that's that.
As the ball's moved to the near side for Chelsea. Throwing just inside their own half on the near side. Goes backwards to Colwill. And back it goes to Jurgensen, who's had a couple of question marks about his feet in this game. He's taken a couple of risks that Chelsea fans may have probably not been happy with. Good header from Joe Gomez there in the centre, finds Caicedo's feet inside to Palmer, move to the far side to Gusto. Just inside his own half, goes backwards. Keeping hold of the ball is Reece James. He goes back to the edge of his own box to Colwell and over to Hatto. There was a yellow card, by the way, for Callum McFarlane, the Chelsea interim manager, about 10 or 15 minutes ago. By the way, I presume for some sort of dissent. They've been flinging their arms over there all afternoon. I think it was confirmed that he did get a yellow card. Liam Delap stripped and getting some instructions ready to go for Chelsea. That's the next roll of the dice, the former Ipswich Town striker. Ball inside's a loose one, giving straight to Liverpool. And Federico Chiesa surely tripped there from behind, looking to pull the trigger with the left foot. Not given. As I think that should have maybe just been a free kick there. Cole Palmer's going to pull the ball forward into the Liverpool half. Down the line it goes. That's a good ball for Gusto. Good slide in there from Kirk is off against Gusto, and that will be a goal kick. Mamadashvili, I don't think was wise to it as he went scrambling across along the floor to try and keep it alive. But for me, that's a goal kick. We'll have another look at it on full stretch. That's an unbelievable sliding tackle.
Great chance from Milos Kirk as he looks absolutely shattered. I wouldn't be shocked to see Andy Robertson coming on sooner rather than later just to shore up that left-hand side. But a great challenge from Kirkes. Going back to that incident with Federico Chiesa, foul or not, you can't just give up and lie on the floor. Do you know what I mean? Now on that occasion, fair play to him. He was absolutely fouled and he got up and went to go win the ball, and in the end he was given a free kick. But ultimately you cannot stop. You have to keep going. You have to keep plodding away. We've got 8 minutes left to go. I think there'll be a reasonable amount of stoppage time. I quite like this change from Callum McFarlane bringing on Liam Delap. Joao Pedro, it's not been his day today. Most days it is his day. It hasn't been his day today. And with Joe Gomez on the field rather than Ibrahima Konate, as much as I love Joe Gomez as a footballer, you probably look at it and you go, he's probably not quite as physical as Ibrahima Konate, and maybe Delap can get a bit of joy from him.
This ball's going to be played forward to Ease. Actually, a free kick off the ball there on Frimpong. Yes, the linesman's seen it. Maybe going to his card again here. Yeah, he is going for a card. Craig Pawson, another Chelsea for on-field plays. I believe that's 3. It may be 4.
Yeah, it's 3.
It's 3. And then obviously Callum McFarlane, as we talked about. I mean, Kukare, what are you doing? There's no need to be doing that, is there? You're going to get a yellow card all day. Puts his arm round him, pulls his shirt, gets in the way of him as well. I mean, I arguably should have had one 20 minutes ago, let's face it. But finally goes in Craig Pawson's book. 83 minutes on the clock. He'd be a scapegoat here if they ended up scoring from this cheap free kick. Right on the near side touchline. Szoboszlai whipping this one in. 6 minutes to play. Can they guarantee Champions League football with a late winner at Anfield? And it's going to be Szoboszlai. Van Dijk's in there. He just hit the bar a moment ago. Ball's going to go in deep to the far post. This time Reece James takes it down. It's still in on that far side. Everyone's stopped. And Reece James is just going to clear the ball. Kirke's going to head it over to the far side. 2 players I probably can't believe are still on the field in Curtis Jones and Milos Kirkes. Just look tired out there at the minute. Gravenberch. Down the line it goes to Szoboszlai. Wants it back on that right. It's actually Federico Chiesa on that left-hand side. Going to drive towards the byline. Dancing. He's asked too much of himself. As he is going to be a corner. He's done well actually against Gusto. Looked like he'd lost flight of the ball, but just about managed to get it, and he's won himself a corner. But these set pieces keep totting up for Liverpool.
Yeah, they do. The thing is, if you're Chelsea, you're probably looking at it and going, well, we're not really suffering from them too much, are we? I know Van Dijk hit the crossbar from one a moment ago, but other than that, they've not looked threatening at all these deliveries into the box. So Chelsea will be okay with them, but it just means that the ball's down the other end of the field and Liverpool can continue looking to try and challenge Philip Jorgensen, which I would argue they haven't done anywhere near enough this afternoon.
As they're absolutely bombarding that 6-yard box and making Philip Jorgensen, he's done some good shot stopping, but he's looked a little bit flappy in goal.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first in-swing at Liverpool are going to have all afternoon, and that's right? why the crowd in the 6-yard box, because it's the first time for them to actually swing that ball into the 6-yard box with an in-swinger. This is why we're seeing Chelsea players throwing themselves, because they know the situation here. They don't trust their goalkeeper, and they know that they are playing to win a free kick in the box here.
Absolute melee going on. You won't like to be Philip Jorgensen right now, as the ball's going to now come in from the Hungarian. Ball into the box, deep into there as well. It's gone all the way through. No one reacted. He's keeping it alive. Jorgensen's grabbed it in 2 hands eventually. Just no one reacted. Cole Palmer wants to get away, but not enough players have committed forward there. That was a really good deep ball in, high and hanging, gave the players enough time to react, but no one did react.
No. I mean, that's gone straight over the head of Joe Gomez. That's a great chance for him to score his first ever senior goal. A huge moment. A really, really odd one. Thought it was a decent ball in, actually, and no one takes advantage. And in the end, Jorgensen does really well in the second time of asking to gather the ball and kill Liverpool's momentum.
As Chelsea back on the ball, they look like maybe, I don't want to say shutting up shop. Delap's still on the field. That's a really poor ball forward. It's going to be thrown for Liverpool halfway inside their own half on the near side. That's a really poor ball forward. Should be a time for Liam Delap to go on. No, they're going to get back on with it, but it looks like Chelsea are happy just to say, you know what, we'll take a solid point at Anfield, whereas Liverpool are not happy with just the point. They'll probably want all three after last week's defeat at Old Trafford. Reece James just on the ball, being one of them players shut up shop. Just moves it to Caicedo. Left-hand side of the centre circle, the number 25 moves it to the near side to Jadal Hato. Good feet. Goes backwards to Reece James and across. Soboslai's not giving this up. Good energy for deep in this game. He's played from the first whistle, not giving it up. Hato needs to be careful. Good flick around the corner to Pedro. This best football we've seen from Chelsea in, probably most of this second half. Move to Palmer on the far side. What can they do? Can it be a smash and grab in this second half? Gusto right hand side, ball in's flat, no one really in there. Van Dijk's just going to clear this under no immediate pressure. Throwing far side for Chelsea. Maybe just feel like they can go out and win this game.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, the first game of the season was anything to go by. They absolutely can. Obviously, went 1-0 up relatively early on in that game, like Liverpool did in this game. Were pegged back by Cody Gakpo. But went on and snatched it late on through Esteval. Obviously, it's a very, very different time, different manager, different players, but they're more than capable of stealing it at the end of it, as a number of teams have done against Liverpool this season. Of course, though, Liverpool have stolen it at the end against a number of teams themselves. So it still, to me, doesn't feel like this game is done and dusted. It has to be said. And, I think it's a case of which team can show a decent amount of quality in the last, I'd probably say, 10 minutes or so.
As looks like Joe Gomez is going to go in the book. It wasn't for the foul, I don't think. It was for holding on to the ball and trying to hold off Cucurella. Just some dark arts afterwards. So the number 2 goes into the book. 2.5 to play. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. It's been that way since about 10 minutes before the break, and no real sign of it changing just yet. Maybe a bit of added time. I don't think there'll be that. We may be looking about 4 minutes. We haven't used all substitutions as well. Ball inside. That's a good one from Reece James. Plays it forward again. Stabs it to Palmer. Chelsea with a good attack. It's behind Gusto inside the box. Goes backwards to Reece James. Feeds it to Palmer. Keep ball now for the Blues. Gusto studs on the ball. Right hand flank up against Kirkes, who's been solid in the second half. They'll have to go all the way back to the centre circle with Fofana. They'll probably just be happy to do so. Good press from Alexander Isak. Cucurella inside to Pedro. He's having to drop deep to find this. Still no Delap, correct me if I'm wrong. That's a good run down the left-hand side from Pedro. Inside he goes. It's well done from the Brazilian. A little bit of space for him. He fancies it into the box. He's overrun it, has he? Oh, that's strong as he got the ball. He's still in the box. He picks himself up. Into the box he goes. Can't find Enzo Fernandez. And he picked himself up because he didn't have control of the ball. Asking for a ball that looked like it as well. He has given it Craig Pawson in the end. Just about. Chelsea were going to come back forward. But I think that's the correct decision.
You'd be absolutely furious if you were Chelsea there. Liverpool asking for a yellow card because it stops a counter-attack. Craig Pawson did not think there was a handball, and Keisha and Soboslai both just stopped and said, we're not playing. But there is obviously a check for VAR after that challenge.
Me, I didn't think he was in control of the ball when that tackle came in. He did get a touch on it, Pedro.
Well, the yellow card's just been handed out to somebody. It's all going on here. That's a penalty, isn't it?
For me, that's
he doesn't get anywhere near the ball, Jeremy Frimpong. I mean...
he's touched the ball.
It's a stonewall.
He's laid on him. He's laid on him. For me, that's got to be a penalty. He's touched it with the left boot, and then Frimpong's come round the back and laid on him. For me, that's got to be a Chelsea penalty. They're looking at it VAR with half a minute to play.
Tony Harrington, the VAR official, I think he seems...
It's not been given. It's not been given.
Really?
Yeah, a yellow card for Moises Caicedo. That's no shock. But Liverpool, I think, a minute before the 90 minutes is up, have got away with a massive one there for me. Yep, no penalty given. I think that's the incorrect decision.
I think that's the incorrect decision. I mean, it's been a very, very interestingly refereed game this afternoon, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the yellow cards have now all of a sudden come flying out from Craig Pawson, but I just think it's been messy from the officials from start to finish. And I do think the PGMOL will look at the way that this game has gone. 7 minutes have been added on at the end of this game, and we'll look at it and think, actually, did our referee have control of this game at any point? I would strongly argue no.
Ball over the top from Cucurella for João Pedro, seemingly just maybe an offside. Have they told Liam Delap to go sit down? Well, I thought there was going to be 4 or 5 minutes added on. There's 7. There's 7 minutes added time. That's more than enough. I've seen 2 goals in added time in 7 minutes. There's more than enough time for one of these two teams to go after it. It has to be said, that's a good touch from Ryan Gravenberch over the top as well. That's a lovely ball, looking for Curtis Jones. A great touch as well inside the box. Ball across, deflected all the way through, just couldn't land a Liverpool way. It's really unfortunate as well. It's lovely play down that right hand side. Maybe a chance for a counter-attack here. Reece James moves it to Cucurella on this near side. Down the line to Enzo Fernandez. It's Callum McFarlane asking his players to get forward. Enzo Fernandez moved the ball over to the far side, just in front of Cole Palmer. There's centimetres in it. He's just going to go backwards. Everyone back now for Liverpool. Gusto into the box to Caicedo. The freshly yellow-carded man zipped in. It's into Mamardashvili's hands after the cross-come shot is deflected into his hands. And that's fairly comfortable for the Liverpool keeper. Yeah,
comfortable save in the end for Mamardashvili. Both teams look dead on their feet, it has to be said. I mean, I'm looking at a number of Liverpool players who have almost just got their heads up into the heavens, as if to say, right, let's get going again. Kirkes, Gravenberch, McAllister, Frimpong, all in that situation. He's just, even with virtually a week's rest, they all look like they are really, really struggling. And the fact that they haven't got the place to turn to on the bench means that they've got to dig deep. They've got to keep going with plenty of time left to go in this one. I actually think both teams will come away from this game, if it finishes as it is, disappointed with a draw. I really do. I think Chelsea will feel that this was a poor Liverpool performance that they could have taken advantage of. I think if you're Liverpool, you go, actually, we've had chances to win this game. Really have. And ultimately, as things stand, it's going to be point shared.
It is. Another poor ball in towards the Liverpool keeper. It's Reece James, this time straight into the hands of Mamardashvili, who's just going to bowl it to the near side to Curtis Jones. Who's going to hook it forward. It's still 0-0 in Teesside, by the way. All Middlesbrough, but no breakthrough. They're looking at 2-0 semi-final first leg playoff matches in the Championship, where you say it's the most exciting league in the world. That's not good advertisement for it.
The first one last night wasn't shocking. The fact that it's still 0-0 today very much is.
Yeah, two very attacking teams with goals in them surprises me. But there's still a little time to go. I think it's the 93rd of 5 added on. So still time there as the ball's going to go forward. Still time here for Liverpool to try and get a winner as they're trying to come forward with Kirkes. He's going to have to go backwards up against Palmer. Stubborn with the ball. Goes back to his skipper and into the centre circle of his own half to Joe Gomez.
So himself, Milos Kirkes, you can see him limping over on the far side.
I'm very surprised he's lasted this long with substitutions in the kit. We've seen 3 substitutions in this game.
He didn't have a great game at Old Trafford, Andy Robertson. There were times he looked relatively suspect defensively, but I just think you'd still rather him in this position than the state that Milos Kirkes finds himself.
Good ball into the box to Isak. Drives down line to the byline, pulls it across. Not a bad attempt as well. Just couldn't find his man. Good clearance on the goal line pretty much. Joel Hato feeds it inside. Bit of triangle play for Chelsea, that's neat, but they're looking just for keep ball. They're just trying to keep it out of their own goal, I think. At this point, that's going to be a foul. McAllister, that's silly by him.
That's tiredness, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's tiredness and the yellow card.
It's a tired brain, tired legs, and he swung at it. Yellow card for the Argentinian. It's finished at the Riverside. Middlesbrough 0, Southampton 0. Can you believe all Middlesbrough, but no breakthrough, so all to do at St Mary's on Tuesday.
Story of their last few months, that Middlesbrough.
It is. They've fizzled out, and they almost won the thing. They were top for a long time, but fallen away. Gerald Hatto's got a free kick here near side for Chelsea. We're in the 94th of 7 added on. We've got 3 minutes to play. Player of the match has gone to Mark Cucurella.
That tells you more about the match than it does his performance, I think.
Yeah, I can't say I agree with that, to be honest. I think, well, I'll leave my opinion to it. But Levi Colwill will glide the ball forward pretty much aimlessly. I think he's just going for a rugby kick more than anything, trying to get it as far forward as he can. Enzo Fernandez picked it up, left-hand side of the box, going to drive into the box now. He's up against 2. Good defending by Liverpool, this. It's very good work. Cucurella's going to win it back. He's running out of play. It'll be a throw-in on the near side for Liverpool. And Frimpong, they want to get the ball forward. I think Cucurella was thinking about wasting time and then thought, you know what, I'm on a yellow card, so maybe not. As Joe Gomez is going to take this throw in. He's going to have to take it quickly. Going to launch the ball down. That's a good throw in, actually. It's only found Colwill, headed on by Reece James. Can anyone find a breakthrough in the 1-1 we've had for such a long time? Ball forward, looking for Chiesa, almost. Levi Colwill with a brilliant tackle. He's been the standout at the back there for Chelsea this afternoon. Caicedo is going forward on halfway, held up straight to the face of Pedro. Is that giving us a free kick? It is. There was a bit of holding there, and it will be a Chelsea free kick. Maybe a chance to just launch the ball into the Liverpool area.
Yeah, it is an opportunity too. They'll take it short though, and they'll look to get it moving quickly. As the camera lingers on Callum McFarlane. The game might be going on. We don't know. The ball's been knocked about. I still don't know what's going on. Still the camera lingers on Callum McFarlane. Eventually now the ball is being played and Chelsea come forward.
Left hand flank, side legs of Enzo Fernandez getting on the ball. And back to João Pedro, keep balling it now. Chelsea, they look happy. They look very happy with a point. May cross it. There's a man down his line, and Reece James. He's been found. He's on the left-hand side. He wants it back on that stronger right, and he gets it. Ball in the box. Mamardashvili just about gets it done with the tall frame, does well, and he balls it out. Look for Chiesa, and he gets it all wrong. Look,
can't stop. You can't stop. He's had I don't know what. It's not a great pass out from Mamardashvili, but he can't stop Federico Chiesa there. Malo Gusto's been left with a right gash on his ankle by the looks of things. That doesn't look good at all for him. But that was a chance for Liverpool to come forward. Oh, and then Craig Pawson's not played the advantage. He's had a rough afternoon, hasn't he, Craig Pawson? I feel for him a little bit, but he has had a torrid time of things today.
Very experienced Premier League referee as well, Craig Pawson. Let's have a look at this. Headed by Van Dijk, who got nudged, and Liverpool going forward.
It's a 3-on-3.
Poor decision. He's pulled it back. He's too eager on his whistle. Liverpool going down the far side, got on with it. Chiesa back on the ball. He's jockeying off the ball and he's moved inside. That's good play. 1-2. Szoboszlai asking too much of his teammate. Gusto's picked himself up and he's just got it at the back. Palmer wants to clear this. He's thrown himself to the floor. Don't give that as a free kick, and he has done. I don't like that because you're advertising players to just throw themselves to the floor like that, and it's really frustrating from a neutral. Just no touch whatsoever, and he's just flung himself down. And it will be a free kick for Chelsea, and you'd like to think that's pretty much it.
That will be it.
Yeah, that's really poor. Very furious Liverpool fans, but a point will be just about enough to get them Champions League. Of course, they're in a comfortable enough position. But Chelsea were there when they were 1-0 up. Liverpool were on top, but Chelsea had the chances themselves, and probably the best result after everything. Two teams that are on top of each other over equal parts of this game. But Liverpool being at home would have fancied it. Free kick deep in their own half. We're over the 7 added on as fans make for the exit. Jurgensen will take his time over this. And Craig Pawson will blow for full time. We finish it as we started, and that's level. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck.